rules or Oblivion rules? Okay, if there's accidents, can critical path characters be eliminated and the story shut off, or do you find ways that they just become incapacitated or otherwise are still around? Or some such, yes. Well, you just said you had story critical characters or something like that. Right.
Is she essentially unkillable, or can she be killed and the story continue?
Okay, thank you.
If he says
Whoa.
dad, I'm going to be so disappointed.
Whoa, hey now. One person. I was gonna say.
Here we go. I can't be killed. I'm already dead.
What? No, you could be killed. We just have to shine a light on you. You burn away.
I mean, traditionally, vampires can be killed by decapitation, so...
I'm just going to point out, baby, he was born this way.
Yeah, I was born this way, see?
And, you know, I do have a great axe that seems to be pretty good at cleaving through things.
No, okay, yeah, hold up.
That too!
I'm gonna take a pause and pull out this piece of paper that says you can't harm me.
I'm gonna take a pause and roll a twin strike to harm you.
Cleave the paper and me?
Better yet, I'll twin strike the paper, and then you with the second attack.
With the second attack, damn. He has no respect for the law. Damn. He just judged Dredd.
I was about to say, what law was he respecting right there?
Maybe he's just Judge Dredd because he is the law. I am. Heart and retweet.
So where have I been during all this mess?
You're probably up with the others.
You were guarding like Rissel and all of them.
Yeah, you were guarding the innocents and keeping an eye on Quiggy Steel.
Yeah, Rissel determined she was riding Onyx. He was the one distracting the dude who said there's a problem and then leisurely strolled down the hallway.
Yeah. He's
I
like,
don't think...
Yeah,
he
could have strolled one block per round and still not made it.
For how critical this was.
And then he just strolls and walks.
Yeah, there was a whole real lack of urgency on the Frost Giant's part.
Yeah, I'm like, dude, you're a Frost Giant. Your stride better be bigger than that.
I mean...
I'm not letting him off the hook quite that easily. So by the time he strolled from that room to us,
they died.
They killed everybody. We come rushing back, go through the whole shenanigans of fighting, and he just walks in. Oh, they're all dead.
I mean,
and then turns around and walks back.
I mean that girl has way of the way of the 100 fists. I'm not sculpting. Sculpt is rigged.
There we go. All right, y'all. Welcome in. How's it going? Tell me everything. Don't leave anything out. We got D&D tonight. This is gonna be a good time. We got some people in here. I'm gonna introduce them and everything. Just making sure y'all know what we're gonna do here. My cam will be off while we're streaming, mostly because I didn't want to go through the difficulty of trying to match up everybody else's cameras and everything. Or actually, I'm too lazy to do that. That's pretty much why. So it'll be all audio, and you can see the scenery and everything from my screen. That's what you'll see. So welcome and thanks for those hosts. I know we got some hosts in there, and I won't be talking directly to you from the game. I'll be typing in. Hopefully you can bear with me. You can bear with me as I'm trying to respond, and everything will be good. So stick around. It's gonna be a good time. At least I think so. At least I think so. So like I was saying, welcome everyone.
Real quick, just letting you know, I'm gonna have to go AFK here shortly for like 2 minutes.
Okay. That wouldn't be a problem.
That's a great intro to the stream.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we got everybody here.
All right, we got
And-
everybody here. I gotta leave for a little bit.
It's that pause for the cause time right now. Right now.
All right, welcome in. It's time to take a pause for the cause. Oh man, but yeah. So welcome in everybody. This is D&D 4th edition, and the game's name is The Distance, and this is episode 8. I forgot I put it on the title, and I forgot again. 9. This is why it's great that they're here, because they keep me in line, because I don't know. I don't know. You know, it would be easy to kill them off, but then who's gonna help me? Who's gonna help me survive through
Track time.
I'm not even going to challenge that logic. I'm just going to let that one go.
You know, if I kill them off, then I'm gonna be confused.
And all alone.
So welcome and thanks for that auto host right there, casual. Now what was I talking about? Okay, so let me introduce everybody. So first, going from right to left to right. Let's go from right to left this time.
Whatever.
Oh God, no.
Let's go from right to
Go
left.
first.
So we have Derper 3. He plays Henry.
Hi.
That's him right there. Then we got Orca, and he plays Irvin. And that's all you get to hear is some background stuff, because I think he's AFK.
No, I'm still here.
Okay. You're not gonna say hello to the people?
Hi, people.
Thank you.
I have a machine gun bow.
He does. And we also got Drew, who is playing Chell.
Word.
That's him right there. And we got last but not least, Cosmos RPG, and he's playing Zalber.
Greetings.
So, are we recapping? Or should I recap?
You recap.
Alright, so. Oh, I just looked at, I'm sorry, y'all. I was looking at the Discord where Cosmos said, why is it called Silky Stream and not Silky Lake? And I was about to say, and I was about to type in the reason why, and I was like, oh, the game's on. So.
Wow, distractions much.
So I'm sorry about that. It was game related though. It was game related. As you see right here on this map. No, okay, I'm gonna stop distracting everybody. So.
Damn it, John.
So last time on The Distance.
Dang it, John.
Ah, Derper.
Had to get you.
So, last time on The Distance, the group was trying to find an opportune way to dodge the Wind Spirit. Wind Spirit being the person that had them imprisoned and offered them a deal in exchange for getting out of the prison. which involved bringing the essence of a little girl named Rissel to him, and they decided, nah, we're not going to do that, and they decided to use a rewind scroll that came from a ritual caster named AIM, and when they used it, they were teleported clear across the continent. And
Clear.
the place they ended up was a place that is, let's just say, filled with family of a certain Chell person. He got transported from the southwest, where it was relatively warm, to the Frost Mountains, where it's cold and there's giants everywhere. Well, not everywhere. There's taller than normal people rolling around and half giants.
They've been thinned out
And he
since.
got to meet his long lost grandmother, whose name is Rhea, and she's right here if you want to see. And yes, she has that face all the time, except for when she found out that Chell was coming. She was super excited. So they talked with her for a while. They found out a lot of information about the world and the avatars, which are very important beings in this world. Find out what makes them special. Not necessarily why they became special, but something along the lines of that. And that one of these avatars, named the Wind Spirit, which we talked about before, may be trying to use their power to become more powerful, or trying to do some very malicious things. And they chatted for a while. It it was a neat thing. And then one of the guards in these Frost Mountains, in this hall up here, came to the party and Rhea with some bad news that there was some enemies approaching. That have approached in a hall to the south of where they were. So they fly over there. But by the time they get there, they see that all the people in there are dead except for two people. Two people being this archer dude here. If I can show him. Where did I put him?
You threw him out the window.
So he was thrown out the
really
window.
hard.
So that happened. And no, he's right here. So
Real.
this guy, Ryu, was there and accompanied by this woman, Ryum, who happened to be a banshee, which is a very special type of person in this world, mostly because they make really loud noises, or not really, well, fairly obvious noises when they walk by, that odd buzzing. And she has a lot of energy in her hands. She's a puncher of some sort. So they found all these people dead, and then they decided to try to avenge all their people by fighting them. So when they decide to start fighting, Ryum lets out a giant banshee yell that adds debuffs to the party, but renders Rhea completely unconscious. And then the fight happened. And what happened during the fight was that Ryum, in a last-ditch effort, tried to save Ryu by punching him away from the battle, which, surprisingly enough, he survived and he got away. But she was rendered unconscious from the effort and passed out around the party. Chell decided he wanted her dead, but was stopped by Zalber before he could finish the job. And that's pretty much where we are. So, whenever y'all are ready to take it from me, go ahead.
Well, Chel's taking Grandma to find a room so she can rest.
I'm catching my breath after running back, closing the door from nearly getting hit by sunlight.
Okay, so let's say you bring Rhea somewhere over here. There's a resting area there. I'm just gonna put you over. Okay.
Can we take the little dots off ourselves now?
The little dots.
Yeah, the debuff.
Yeah,
Oh,
we're
yeah.
still
magic you
debuffed.
gave us.
Yeah, take those off. Or no, take them off.
In which case, I'm still marking her.
Here we go.
Okay. Well, after I catch my breath, I'm gonna try and carry the unconscious Ryum somewhere.
Well, can we? Is she stable enough after Joe very
Tried
nearly
to-
killed her?
Don't know.
I had blood eater, so she has to be
So will
stable.
it be medicine then?
Roll. I'm trying to think of what I want to say. Roll perception.
I can attempt that.
Okay, I can roll perception for you. Okay, well.
Oh, I was gonna roll it.
Okay,
Joe,
go
do I
ahead.
not need to roll anymore?
Yeah, I was asking you, Zalber, to
Zalber?
do it, but
No.
so I'm gonna ignore that. Mostly because we might need to.
Hey.
All right, so you notice that when you run across banshees before, you always hear a constant buzzing sound when they're around. You hear that bzzz.
Right.
But from her, you hear a bzzz, 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 bzzz kind of sound. So
Okay.
so
What do I think that would mean?
so uh, you would probably think that she's in really bad shape. Now you don't know of any banshees that can cut off that sound. So for that sound to be going out like that, she might be almost dead. And she's just kind of holding on.
Okay. How difficult is it to attempt to stabilize somebody? Because if it's too difficult, I've got a magic item I can use or some such.
I would ask you to roll heal.
If I do poorly, will I risk killing her?
How about this? As long as you don't crit fail.
Uh-oh.
Oh, jeez.
So there's a 5%
In which case,
chance.
I will have to say I would laugh. I would.
There's a 5% chance that you can kill her. How about that?
All right, hold on. Let me look at what other options I have before I try this in. No, I just have the healing potions, and I assume the party would be quite upset at me if I used those.
Why? We have others.
It's your potions. I mean, I'm sure that they're okay with that.
I don't know what you're doing.
They gave them to you.
All right. I'm gonna try the heal, but I've got a potion on the ready.
Okay.
If it looks like it's not going to work.
Just don't crit fail.
You keep saying that. You realize that that's probably the only thing I'm going to roll now, right?
Yes.
Damn, John.
Yes. So don't crit
Wow.
fail.
He's just gonna like shove.
Crit fail. Okay.
Crit
He's
fail.
he's just gonna shove the bottle down her throat.
Go ahead.
It's gonna make her eat it, bottle and all.
Yep.
See, you didn't crit fail.
I did not crit fail. I got a total of 17.
So you're trying to patch her up, and it seems to be helping a little. You can hear a little bit longer sounds in the buzzing, but she's still in bad shape. She's in a good enough shape to where you expect that you can move her, and she won't just bleed out and die on
Really?
you. But she's gonna need some more attention.
That's fine, but she's stable at least.
Yeah, she's relatively stable.
She's stable. All right, then if she looks stable, yeah, I'll let Henry know that he can go ahead and try to
Carrier.
carrier.
Okay.
I mean, I'm assuming you're stronger than me. I don't actually know.
It should be.
Just look at him, how frail and delicate he is.
Well, that's why. I mean, every time I just have to mention the wind spirit, and his hand gets distorted.
Yep.
I mean,
That-
I was never gonna carry her. I was gonna drag her. Maybe find some wheels, just hammer them into her legs, so to
Oh,
wheel her along.
whoa, no. Oh, no. If you're going to do that, I'll carry her.
I was about to say, considering I have a 10 strength and I just carried a 7-foot-tall Amazonian away.
Yeah, I'll just let him do it, mostly because of family ties.
Yeah, I was
So
going to say,
I'm gonna let y'all get away with just carrying her away.
Oh, it was either that or I was gonna pull out the magic coffin
You know,
and then stick her in
I'm
that.
not gonna say
then
roll strength. You drop her, she falls and dies.
she
I'd
dies.
laugh.
You know, it'll be funny, but no, I'm not.
I want to
gonna
roll.
do that.
I'm rolling strength anyway, just in case.
All
Carrier.
right, so he
He-
takes his pinky
wow,
and he lifts it up and lifts her up with the pinky and then just starts walking her off.
It's that crushed arm he keeps doing.
But actually, he just he picks her up and he just brings over, and you go back to the room that you came
With
from.
everyone.
Yeah.
Preferably any room I'm not in.
All right, so come back here and realize that Chell is not here.
Yeah, so you realize Chell isn't there,
That's a good sign.
and you see that the rest of the party's there. Irvin is staring intently at Kriegsteel.
Priest.
You know, every time he breathes funny.
He
Which
draws
is
an
every
arrow.
time.
Yeah,
Which is every time.
Yeah, Irvin's got aims his arrow at him. And as you come in, you see that, and Kriegsteel says, "Would you stop with that?" And then he's gone.
Kriegsteel leaves?
No.
Yeah, quick. You keep
No,
throwing down a man.
Irvin is AFK.
Well, that's okay.
So
So I'm going to ask if somebody can let them know, hey, we've captured a Banshee. She's gravely injured. Take any precautions you need, but please make sure she doesn't die. We need to go look after Shell.
all right. So you see Rissel, because Rissel's always excited to see everything. She runs up and she looks at her and says, "Okay, she's not evil," and then walks away.
Oh,
Wait,
the
what?
pain.
I mean,
And then
technically.
it's like technically she is.
I mean, technically she is 50-50. She may not
You
have
might-
a mark. She may not have a mark on her, but
Yeah, we might want to work on your definition of what evil is, but that's for another time.
She says, "I know what evil is." And
Sure
she
you
walks
do.
over. And then
Sure you do.
and then you see Aim walk over to her. Let me zoom in some more.
Zoom.
Why is it that she
Enhance.
has this skull on her? There you go.
That's because
Oh,
you
no.
put it on there and you never could figure out how to get it off.
Yeah,
You asked the same question last battle after you put it
Yeah.
on her.
But I didn't know how I got it on there, and then I had to figure out how to get it off.
dang it, John.
But yeah, so she has a skull because she's near dying. He walks over and says, "Oh, she needs some serious medical attention."
Well, that's what happens when an angry ice giant does.
Yes. Thank you, Captain Obvious. Can you?
Hey, they
Can
don't
you
know
help?
that.
I was more referring to their comment, not yours, but
Yeah.
I'll take it.
That works both ways.
Yeah, it works for everybody.
And then so Raven walks over and
Oh,
says,
God.
"What happened?"
Long story short, her and someone else viciously killed a bunch of guards down at the door. She punched her partner in crime away so he could get away. Then she fell unconscious.
Ah, that's
They were agents of. And apologies, I don't have my notes with me since I'm on travel. What was Chill's father's name again?
TB.
TB.
Yeah, they were agents of DB.
Oh. And I'm surprised that that Chell of all people allowed this person to live.
Oh, he tried, but Zalber stopped him.
Well, what do you plan to do with this person then?
They may have information about what's going on.
And you're gonna get the information out of her in this state?
Now, when she wakes up, Raven, God, I know you're smarter than this.
And he's
Come
like,
on.
well, he says, looking at her, how do you know she's going to wake up?
We don't, but
I'm no doctor, but I could sense her life energy.
And so then you see Crick still looking over,
Oh God.
and he says, well, I do know a way to get her back up.
Oh, what? You have a doctor's degree now, Mr. Alchemist?
You all could find her if
Nope,
she's
I got a
back.
potion. He says, I got an alchemy degree. That's
Of
just
course you
as
do.
good.
I mean that's fair. But right now, Chell's grandmother was also injured. We need to figure out where they went. Let's see after her. So, if someone could just watch her, please, while we figure out what's going on. Make sure there's no one else trying to infiltrate.
So, is there anywhere in this room I could settle this lady down?
I thought you were gonna settle her right there, but we can put her over here.
I thought you were just going to keep swirling her over your head.
You can lay her in the ice cradle.
There you
Yeah.
go. That works.
In my ice
Yeah,
cradle
cradle.
there.
Yeah, so there was an ice cradle that Rhea made for Chell when he came in.
Yeah, an adult-sized one.
Yeah, it's a good 9-10 foot long type of thing,
Not creepy at all.
as if she didn't know that he was a grown up. But yeah, so
Okay.
you can just lay her in there.
Be
Alright, so
sure-
she's somewhere. She's stable.
Yeah, keep an eye on her just in case she gets too cold, because the
You're,
thing is made of
you're
ice.
keeping her on ice.
Yeah.
Ah,
It says, all right.
well, actually, that will help with the wounds, won't it?
Yeah. So we'll look after her. So you see them go over there.
Thank you.
Ugh. Now,
Yep. Then I leave to start looking for Chell.
let's go on a scavenger
Well,
hunt.
you had an idea where you went, so I'm not gonna make you go through the whole idea of trying to.
Well, he
Well,
wasn't down that way.
my-
I wonder
my-
if he went this direction.
my
Yeah.
question to the GM is: this all one gigantic room, or am I in a side room that can be sealed off?
This is a whole area. Oops, did I?
Whoa!
You moved the
Whoa!
map.
Earthquake!
I was about to say
Sorry about that.
I'm in a secret area that just
I'll flip
moves.
the ruler. So this is a whole different set of areas. As you can see, you can't see Tony from there. So these are all different spots. So you can think of this as some kind of housing area here, some merchant area
Okay.
here, something you don't know about over here, something you
Ooh,
don't
I
know
want
about
to
over
check
there.
here. I want to check here too, and
So,
here.
stuff like
Well,
that.
if it's a room that has a door that can be sealed, he's really in a mood to be left alone until she wakes up.
Yeah.
So he would have iced that door.
So let's say that okay, they saw you were coming by, and people saw you, and they knew who that was, and they knew you were in bad shape. But they somehow, since you looked like you were a giant, they didn't question the idea that you were trying to help, because I mean
Wow, security is really lax here.
she's pretty.
I know,
pretty
right?
much,
Is this the mall?
well
I
loved
look
by
like I belong.
by all giants and half giants.
Even a couple quarter giants.
So, and I mean, only a couple people might have seen you, so you don't have to worry too much about that. Everybody was either dying over here, or they are somewhere.
Or we're just strolling idly down the hallway.
So, and you don't expect that the Frost Mountains is that busy, anyways. But anyhow, you go around, looking for them. You see a door with some ice on it, some freshly created ice, and you're like, this is probably the place. And so you can walk over there to the door.
Okay, where's the door?
Just the door.
Let's say the door's right there. There.
There?
There.
Yeah, there.
Okay. And you said it is iced shut?
Yes.
Okay. Then I will call out through the door. Gel?
You probably hear him in there, but I don't know if he's up to responding just at the moment.
So there you go. So he just doesn't respond.
Okay.
So you assume that he just can't hear you.
I put my hand on Zaber, saying, I think we should leave them alone.
Unless he suddenly has a medical degree I'm unaware of, I would rather she get examined by people who might be able to see if she's okay.
Rhea will be fine. She's stronger than she looks. And I mean it.
So you think it is best to leave her alone where no one can check her?
She'll be fine. She just got hit in the head.
Oh, she just got hit in the head. I see.
Yes.
Do not question the medical degree of the vampire.
All right.
So you got an option. You can try to bust down the door. You could go back.
I'm not going to bust down the door. I'm going to call through the door. I'm going to say, Chell, if you can hear us, I would like to have someone who can check your grandmother to make sure she's okay.
I'm thinking he's still too much in his own head right now.
So he doesn't. So you don't get any response.
Okay. Are there other people around here?
You see one or two people walking around.
Yeah. Is there other stuff here? Like, do I see anything that might be clearly marked saying, like, hey, here's a medical place or guard
Let's
places
see.
or stuff like that?
So this is residential. That's
Land of Tony.
Yeah. Medical stuff will probably be around here, and guard stuff will be over here.
Okay, so I want to go to medical area.
So down there.
Okay. And I start heading in that direction. Let's see if I see anyone that looks medically
Okay. So
or sitting behind a desk or some such.
Yeah. So you see a building. Nice building. It seems to be fairly. You hear a lot of noise coming from it. It's a very active area, and just screaming all over the place. You hear, "Put him on this bed. Stabilize him," and all this other stuff. But the door to this building is open.
Okay, I walk in.
And so first thing you hear is, "No, tie him to the bed now." And she looks over. She says, "Are you hurt too?"
I am not. No, I'm not injured, but we have people that are injured. If you have people that could look at them.
We got a lot of injured people here. I don't know if we can spare the time.
Are you wait? We know people came through the side and got injured by an enemy infiltration. Is this part of that, or did other people get injured somewhere else?
I think that I heard there was a some kind of issue going on over there, but it seems like some people came in through all the distraction and killed off some people here. They came in and wiped out and injured some people and then left. It seemed like it was a very calculated attack.
Okay, and people saw them leave. We know that they left and aren't still here somewhere.
So there's evidence seeing people leave. We don't know if there's still more people around, but at least the injuries and the fighting has ended, and we're just trying to patch everybody up. No, don't give him that one. Give him the other one. I'm sorry about that.
That's okay. We were able to capture one of the people that came in, but they are gravely wounded, and oh crap, what's Shill's grandmother's name?
Rhea.
Rhea.
Rhea. Thank you. And Rhea may also be injured.
What?
Oh no.
Rhea's injured?
We don't know. She's in a room with Chell, and we can't get in.
I used to swear by everything that there was nothing that could harm her.
The Banshee did something to her.
Banshee?
Yeah, a Banshee. That's the one we captured. That the Banshee screamed and it hurt all of us, but for some reason she went down. I thought she was tougher than that. I don't know what happened.
Oh,
Critical plot failure.
I don't. Man, I've never heard of any banshees in this area. Anywhere on the. Well, give me a moment. Let me make sure I give everybody their orders, and I'll come personally.
I'm sorry. Could you say that again?
Hello. Okay, I'm good. He says, well, let me finish giving these orders, and I'll come over personally.
Okay, thank you.
Well, could I offer to help with basic first aid and such?
You're gonna help the people in here, or are you gonna help?
Yeah, I'm gonna help the people in there.
All right. Yeah. So
Get
you can
over
go
there.
over. So you have to go over. You can go over and offer. And I
Yeah.
need you to roll. I need you to roll heal.
19?
And she looks at you and says, how neat are you with gauze?
Well, I'm decent with first aid. I could help bandage and such.
And so she cuts you off and says, give this guy a kit. And you see someone, some people rush over and they're just handing you stuff. And then she goes over and she starts yelling certain things. And then and then she goes back to Irvin and says, all right, we can use all the help we can get. I hope you're able to do some good in there.
Do my best.
And so she starts to walk out with Zauber.
All right. And as I walk out, I'll turn to Erwin and say, "Thank you for helping and good luck."
Look out for Onyx for me.
We'll
Oh,
do.
God, I'm next to the bear. What's it
You
gonna do?
are.
Could have said Onyx in after me.
So
But she bites the door.
yeah. So you go over there, and you go back to the house, and there's a door that's been frozen shut.
Mm-hmm.
And she looks at she's just walking by. So I guess she sees you standing next to the door, and she says, "Well,
Just say, yeah, she is. She's behind here. Am I still there?
Yeah. So
You're still
I'm
here.
gonna say, well, aren't you gonna open the door?
Can I open the door? I thought you said it was closed shut.
The lady is asking you if you can open the door. The
I,
head medic.
no, and I'll let her know. No, I cannot.
Okay. Well, then how do we get in to help her?
Shell, open up. We have Onyx. We also have
How long have they been gone? By the way, how long has he been with Rhea by himself?
About a couple hours.
Oh, he has confessed all sorts of things to her, begged her to come back to life.
We have someone with medical expertise who can check on your grandmother. Open the door and let her in, please.
Well, he certainly hasn't maintained the ice, and I'd say he's probably exhausted himself, so if they want to try and break it, they probably can. Send the bear. The bear could do it.
The bear's gonna shut the door. All right, Onyx, use headbutt.
Onyx, go!
Okay. So she's gonna say, so you're telling me that you want me to help patch someone up, but we can't get through the door. So, do you
Well,
want me to try to bust this door down and get in?
Onyx is gonna try to push the door open.
Onyx, go!
All right. I need you to roll strength, or I need Onyx to roll strength, and I guess it's gonna be against. It's gonna have to be against the strength of this door. I'm gonna say. Let's see. With that, I'm gonna say Onyx can't bust the door down.
Oh,
And
Onyx.
so you'll hear this. The the lady will ask you, "Is there someone in there? Someone else in there?"
Yeah, her grandson, Chill.
He says, "But why is he not letting you in?"
That is a good question that we don't know.
Okay, so she says,
Emotionally distraught would be my guess.
yeah. So she goes over. She goes over to the door and she bangs on the door. She bangs on the door for a bit, and then she says, uh, "For anybody that's in there, this is First Medic Diane. I was sent to administer aid. Please open the door."
I would say the guy's cracks.
And then she looks at the rest of you. She looks at the rest of the people outside, as if she's trying to get directions as to what to do.
Cracks as in shatters.
Both the
Well,
door breaks after
actually,
she
more
bent.
along the lines of, should I
So
go
we're
in
just going
first, or
now?
are you gonna go in first?
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Oh no,
You going first. Ladies first.
And then she says she looks back at the bear. Okay.
Send in the bear.
And then she walks in. So I'm guessing she sees Rhea
He
laying in
laid.
bed, and you're just kind of kneeling next to it.
Yep, he's just holding her hand and laying next to her, or sitting next to her. Not laying next to her. That's weird.
Hmm. So she goes in and she says, "All right." She goes up to you. "All right, I need to know what happened."
How does one? uh,
I mean, I already told her about the banshee.
Okay, she's gonna say, "I need to know
That's what
exactly
happened.
what happened."
okay, so it's just like I don't know exactly how he
You
would.
did say a banshee came in there and injured her. I remember you saying that. I might have missed everything you said, and I apologize for that. I'm just gonna ask it again.
No, that's cool. All right, so I will again explain because I mean she's under duress, so lots going on. Uh, two people came in. One of them was a banshee. Uh, she got next to the banshee. The banshee screamed, and she fell to the ground and hasn't gotten back up.
She says, "Well, that's a a very unusual type of injury. Let me see what I can make out." So she starts to reach over to touch Rhea, and she's looking over at Chell.
Is she hot?
What?
Roll for hotness.
What do I roll for hotness?
It's a luck roll.
Oh God. Okay. Let's find out. Yeah, she's average.
Yeah, she's all right.
He's not gonna stop her. He's just holding. He's holding onto her hand like it's dear life.
Okay, and she starts to pat her down, trying to. It's like she's trying to get a sense of blood flow or something like that.
He's been putting little like cold bandages on her head or whatever he could find.
And she examines Rhea for a while, so you can see like a good hour or so passes, examining, checking everything. You know, she checked for
Well, I
wounds
won't
first.
watch while she checks everything.
I mean, not not
I'm
the
like the
special
banshee
things,
didn't yell at that.
not the special things, but all the main stuff. And she goes through, checks for blood flow, checks for injuries, then checks her head, see if there's any any heat coming from it. and then you say okay, and she says, well, let me try something else, and so you see her her hand starts to glow a little bit.
I love it. They don't go to glowing hands first.
And do you say that?
It goes through his head, but he's not opening his mouth.
Okay. Hold on. So then you see her hands glow. She's like, all right, let me try something else. And then you see this little bit of energy come from her hand, and she puts it on Rhea's head. And you don't see anything special. Nothing really happens to Rhea when this happens. So it's kind of like she's scanning her head. And
It's a good
so,
thing he can keep his mouth shut as opposed to simply blurt things out.
so she says, and then she takes her hand off and releases the energy. And she looks at Chell, and then she looks at the rest of you. And she says, uh, now I've seen a lot in my time, but I have no clue what's going on there, except for the idea that there's just some irregular, some type of energy or something that's flowing in her head.
We know who to grab.
Yeah, I was gonna say. All right, thank you for checking her. Can you come and take a look at this other person that was injured?
Says, sure. But when you said you know who to grab, are you saying there's someone else that can assist?
In a way, yeah. I'll try and get her
And she's gonna
to
say,
help
is
out.
that person the next person in worse shape than this person? Because maybe if you brought that person here, we may be able to fix this problem, and then go to the next one.
That's fine. The other person is badly injured but is stable. It can wait.
Don't tell me that that this other person is as high up as or near as high up as this person is. This is our the head of the ice mountains. She's considered by many our savior, and I wish that I had run over here faster.
The other person is really not that important.
Okay, well
Because
bring the person
No.
over and let's see what we can do.
Uh, who is Henry planning to grab? Are you grabbing?
I was gonna grab Wrestle to see if she could do something with the energy in Rhea.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say Aim might know and Krieg might know.
I'm not trusting Krieg with Rhea. Hell no.
Okay.
Just shove Krieg in
He
the
is the one
corner.
that knows the most about energy manipulation here.
True, but I don't trust.
He knows a lot about this. I don't trust him.
Our
So
right now, someone's life is on the line.
okay, are we gonna leave it up to vote who Henry grabs, or are we gonna just let Henry grab
No,
somebody?
I'm just gonna grab Krieg still and maybe Wrestle as well.
Bristol and Aim, I think, because Aim has some healing knowledge, correct?
She does.
Yeah. So
And
I've grabbed those three.
okay,
She's gonna
I'll
grab.
take Onyx with me as well.
Oh, you're going to take the one person I want to hold.
Yeah. No, it might be best to leave
Yeah.
Onyx here.
Yeah, I'm gonna say when the door opened, Onyx went to lay by
Chill.
Shell's side.
Yeah. There you go.
That would be the one way he would let go of Rhea to be fully examined. He just goes over and hugs on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll go grab Aim and Krieg still.
And Irvin, roll heal again.
Try not to kill anybody.
Nope.
Nice.
Okay, I just needed
He
that
turned someone into it.
for reference. So
turned someone into a mummy.
So Henry goes over and goes back to the main hall. It takes him a little while to get there, but he knows the way.
Hey, Crixil, what are you doing up there?
They put me here.
They did.
They said, "Oh, you're too
Wow.
close to the door. Oh, you might get away."
Okay. I mean, I can see that. Okay. So I'm gonna need you and A to follow me.
Well, I'm gonna need you to get me out of these binds so I can follow you.
I will drag you.
Okay, I'm getting up.
Good.
And then you see Rissel walk over. So what do I do?
You can help Raven keep an eye on our unconscious friend in the cradle.
But that's boring. You sound like there's some action going on over there. Come on. I want to go.
The,
I want to go.
the,
I want to go. Come on. I'm
okay,
the
fine.
greatest mage ever. I can fix
Okay,
everything.
don't do anything. Okay, you're just an observer.
I promise I won't do nothing.
If you lie to me, I'll tell Cassandra on you.
she just double negatived you, by the way.
Yeah.
No.
What is she gonna do? She's way over there.
Don't
Wherever
tempt your
there
sister.
is.
Yeah, she just points. She just points in one direction. Mostly, she points this way.
I would want to tempt Cassandra. Because you know what she's like.
Cass can't do anything. She's not the greatest mage ever. She says she is, but I am.
Okay, sure. I'll stay with. I'll come back to keep an eye on our friend here with Raven. Then don't want to leave him by himself.
Okay, so you see, Aim goes to get Creek Steel and bring him over,
I showed them the way.
and she's gonna go with. Okay, so they go over.
If Rissel comes anywhere near him and Onyx, he pulls her into the pile.
She says, "All right, I'm here, the greatest mage." And then you see Chell pull her. Ah!
I'm gonna head back, and I'm gonna take my long rest because it's sun out and I'm tired.
And then she said, "That's like, ah, let me go. You're just like that. You're just like that lady that. Oh, she's right here."
Hey, at least she's being cuddled on top of Onyx, so she's got the best of both worlds going down here.
So you see Aim come in and Creeksteel being dragged in, and the first medic says, "Well, I mean, I thought you knew someone. Looks like you have a whole team."
He knew some ones,
Yeah.
except he went off to sleep apparently.
Yeah, and it's sun's out.
And she now it's actually kind of late right now.
I was about to say it's been a couple hours and the sun is still up.
It's either all dark or it's really
It's damn dark.
yeah. It's either totally dark or absolutely dark.
Either way, I'm sleeping. I pull out my coffin and I'm asleep in it.
Yeah. So he looks over and she says, "Well, I mean, you could call us a team, but we're just a bunch of people that have been brought together by unfortunate circumstances." And then you see Aristo points to Creeksteel. Yeah, unfortunate circumstances. And then Creeksteel says, "Well, you could have left me where I was." And Aim says, "And let you endanger more lives? No way." And so the medic says to them, says, "All right, well, this is what's going on." And as he goes over and she signals the three over, and Rissel rolls off of Onyx and joins the rest. And she says, "Well, I checked her uh, however I could, but the only thing I could find was that there's something unusual happening with with her brain activity." And Rissa says, "Yeah, that's because she's evil." And the medic says, "What?" And she says, "Yeah, she's evil. Evil energy all over." And the medic looks around at everybody else to wonder what she's talking about.
Well, unless Zauber's going to pick it up, I guess I'm going to have to.
I think it's you. I think Zalber.
Okay.
Right?
I mean, if
Oh.
you want me to, I don't know if Chell is talking or if you're still just holding.
No, that was the
around the
player saying it, so because I didn't know if you were here. Otherwise, I was going to have to explain it.
Yeah.
So that's because Bristle is blurting out people are evil again.
Yes.
Is that the issue?
Mm-hmm.
Zauber will sigh and say she's referring to the energy of the avatars.
And she's gonna look at you again because she has no idea what you're talking about.
Okay, I'm gonna not take up my long rest. I'm gonna just come back down and explain.
What's the matter? Couldn't sleep?
Couldn't sleep.
Couldn't sleep. Couldn't sleep.
Well,
Was too worried.
it's gonna be a while before you get there, so they're gonna keep talking.
Yeah, that hallway's long. Look how long it took the guard to get to anywhere.
Hey, I'm running. I have athletics. A wall bounce.
So
Oh, geez. If she doesn't know about the avatars, I'm not sure how to explain that in a simple manner.
and she's gonna look at the rest of you and say, and then Aim's gonna say, "Well, let's just assume that the girl she has the ability to see special types of energy, and anybody with that energy she considers evil. It may not be an evil energy. It's just that's just her way of communicating."
She's had bad experiences with people who have that energy up to this point, so we're still working on that. That not everybody with that energy is necessarily bad.
And so she says, "Well, girl, come here. You might be able to see what this is." And she says, and the medic tries to lead her over there, lead her to the area that she considers unusual. And Rissel pulls her arm away and says, "I don't need to go over there. You see it right here." And he points to her head and says, "Evil, right all over there."
Do you see different types of energy?
And she says, "No, that's her, right there."
Okay, so but you just see her energy. Does it look different than before?
She says, "Yeah, usually it's all," and then she waves all around her body, like just hand it in the air. It says usually it's like that, and then when she does those ice things, and then she starts to kind of wave her hands in a certain area,
Here we go.
signifying that her energy is usually around her body, but then when she tries to do something, it moves and it focuses in a different area. And then, hold on. And then she says, she starts moving her hand around. Says, "But now it's all like this," and she takes her hand. She just kind of focuses on uh, Rhea's head.
Get over here!
In a really small, like she puts her hands together in a really tight, I guess you could say like a fist, a hand covering her fist and just says right there. So to signify like her energy is like concentrated in her head.
So all her energy is there. Does her energy look okay? Does it look unhealthy?
She says it's all crazy. Usually it goes, whoosh, but this one's going.
So what you're saying is when the banshee screamed, it somehow affected her, the energy inside of her.
And Rissel looks just. I don't know. I just know that this is what the evil's right there, and it goes.
Okay, you need to stop saying evil because it's not evil.
She looks at
You
you.
can only you can only say it's evil if it's a bad person.
She looks at
Okay,
you and says, "It's evil.
it's not.
I'm not talking to you anymore."
Okay, don't.
And then she kind of walks to the side.
I shake my head and cover my face.
And you hear her say, "That's why no one likes you anyways."
Damn. Shot through the heart.
You know, as
Oh, be
she's like,
careful. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. So yeah, she walks, and then the medic says, "Well, that so some kind of unusual. Her energy is being was. So all we can say is that maybe her energy is the reason why she's in this state. We got to find a way to somehow separate her energy and disperse it back to the rest of her body. Maybe there's too much of it in one spot that's rendered her in this state."
Zobber will look at aiming Creek Steel and ask, have you ever heard of something like this happening?
So AIM says, "Well, there's one there's one person that I know of in particular that is said to have the power to disturb the minds of people, which is also the person that I was making a deal with for supplies over at the Western Port. Now, this person, so we saw that you said that this person was a banshee, so maybe it's something that banshees do that messes with the minds of people."
That somehow is super effective against avatars.
And she says, maybe that's what it is. Uh, did did it affect any of you in any way?
It affected all of us, but not nearly so badly. We were just incapacitated for a few moments.
It did affect all of us. It only affected you two.
It just popped me because I've got heightened senses and made me go prone or maybe fall.
And Craig still says, "Well, I mean, I know without a doubt that she was probably stronger than all of you, so she probably had more energy than all of you. And when this scream happened, she probably was just her body was probably trying to defend itself, and she just sent too much energy to the wrong area."
You're saying you think this is self-inflicted?
Not, I mean, mostly self-defense, but it had some unforeseen consequences.
Or maybe the scream caused her energy to overload itself since she has so much of it.
And so the medic says that's entirely possible. Do you know what happened to the person that did this?
She's the other person who is badly injured that Zauber told you about.
Yeah, I did mention that previously.
Oh yeah, you did. You said that. Okay. She says,
Yes.
"Well, we may have to fix her up and make her come here and
That was the
fix."
point, to see if they could give us some answers.
So that's what the well. I'm sorry for wasting your time with this one. Let's go and see this person then.
Oh no, it's not a waste of time. We still learned valuable information. I appreciate your help. I'm sorry we can't do more to help your leader right now.
Well, before we do that, I need to go back to the medic ward to see how it's going over there. I'm gonna go
That's
there and
fine.
then I'm gonna make my way back.
I'll wait for you to take you back when you're ready.
Make sure Urban hasn't killed anybody in the meantime.
Oh, jeez.
Well, she's
So
away.
where is this other person so that I know where to go?
She's in the main hall in a 7 to 10 foot ice cradle.
The main hall.
No, not me.
I thought that was the main hall.
That is the main hall.
No, it's like her private chambers or something like that.
Yeah. So the main hall, the whole thing, is her private thing.
I don't know what it's called. I can take you there when you're ready. I apologize. I'm new here.
Yeah. Well, she says the main hall. Well, usually people don't enter the main hall except for the leader herself. The rule is that you have to have special permission to get in there. We can only knock and request that the leader comes out. But then she looks over and says, "But well, she's right here."
Considering the circumstances and that.
Hopefully, you know what? If you instead, could you bring this person here? I don't want to be here breaking any rules. I don't want anybody to see me.
Do you have a different place we can set her in, so that she's not in this room?
Yeah. I'll have to bring her to the medic area.
I'll go grab her then.
Thank you.
So I guess you all got special clearance from her to enter, so I'm not gonna question that. I'm just gonna go and I'm just gonna go see what's going on with my people over here.
Yeah, special clearance, that's what they call it.
So she
I claim family rights.
Yeah, she's not gonna question it. She's like, it's against, that sounds like illegal. I have nothing to do with it.
I mean, I'm a friend, so I should have permission.
So she goes back. She sees Irvin, and Irvin's doing probably a better job than almost everybody there.
Turning everyone into a mummy.
Yeah, he's patching them up. He's stabilizing people, and there's less screaming going on. You actually see him
arrow above their heads,
pointing and trying to direct people around.
Oh, he's a natural.
As he's going through, and she walks over and she says, "So I guess I should retire. You got my job now."
Well, you're probably better than I am. I only know what I picked up from years of experience raising a bear.
And then she says, is Charlie properly washing a wound? How did you get him to do that?"
There's a frost giant named Charlie.
I mean, her name was Diane.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't ask.
To be honest, I'm not quite sure.
All right. Well, it looks.
People skills aren't my strong suit. I don't know how this is going so far.
He leads by example.
Well,
shooting an arrow above someone's head will, inspire them to no end.
Right. Well, I'm not gonna. I think I don't need to question it anymore. So, follow me. I need to clear out some space. We got a special guest, I guess, coming by. I also need to go get some more certain type of supplies. So I'm gonna have to leave for a bit. But expect some people to come. They might be your friends. I mean, they're unusual to us, so I assume that unusual teams up with unusual.
Was it the swordsman that was next to me when I offered help?
I mean, well, besides the swordsman, there was a lady with like a bow on her back, a stick in her hand, like she was from maybe from one of the forest areas. Then there's some old
familiar.
Some old cranky man was there, and there's this little girl running around.
Yes, they're all friends of mine.
All right, well, nothing else I'm gonna say about that. So she orders some people around. She clears out some space, and then she says, "All right, well, just lead them to this area."
Got it.
Just gonna point over here, and then she walks off. And you don't see her walking towards the same direction as she came from. You see her walking a different direction. So instead of going this way, she goes this way.
I got damn, I need to keep on Ryum.
Ryum, yeah. So you're gonna grab her?
Yeah. Can I have
Alright.
control so I can move her and me?
Let me see. Can I do that? Edit. Edit. For the love of everything, let me edit. Oh.
Oh, you're on ruler still. You're
Yeah.
on ruler.
Ruler.
She's being unruly.
Oh. Let's see, can I do
It's
something
impressive
here?
considering she's unconscious.
Yeah, I'll just move her.
Yeah, there you go. That's
Okay.
price of play.
So you're bringing her back. You're bringing her this way, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna bring her to the hell.
Okay. So you see, after a while, you see Henry come in and, carrying this lady.
With my pinky.
And then you see Zarber comes over, and that's pretty much it. I think everybody else stays over there.
So, since he doesn't have anybody to watch anymore, is he going to come down?
Yeah, is Raven
where
gonna
Rizal
come?
is?
I don't want to
Raven,
leave.
oh yeah. So
Your
Raven's
Raven
gonna,
just chilling back there.
Raven's gonna come down with y'all.
Okay.
Good. Take Krieg still with you because I'm gonna sleep on the bear.
I tell Raven that he's looking for Russell and she's in like the little ice house with everyone.
Oh, I was saying maybe he's like, oh, thank goodness, I needed some peace and quiet.
Yep. But he runs over because he gets the hint. So they clear out a spot, and she's laying down, and you see Diane. She administers treatment to this person. Notices that she's having some she's hearing a buzzing sound, and she knows that it's having some issues. She says, "Up, well, patched up all we can, but we can do this." Wait, no, because she comes back, and well, actually, she comes back. Yeah, she comes back. She says, "Well, I could do this," and then she takes out a vial, and it looks like
What
it's
is
water. It looks like a small vial of water. It's just a clear liquid, and she splashes it on the
It's the ice bucket challenge. She tosses it on her.
Oh no!
Sure, just do that without us telling us what it is. That's fine.
Says it's just it's mostly water. It has some slight rejuvenative properties.
Mostly
So
water.
it's not anything worth worrying about.
Yeah. All right.
And so you see that, and she sprays it on there, and then you see Ryum shake a little bit, and then she lifts her head a bit, and she kind of looks forward. She doesn't look at any of you, and she just says, "I'm wet. Why is my face wet?"
She's lucky. That's all she is.
Well, you were badly injured, and the reason you're wet because you've been sprinkled with some water with healing properties.
So you notice that she's not paying attention to you.
Oh my god!
She hasn't really acknowledged any of you.
Wait, she asked a question and then isn't listening for an answer?
No, so you assume that she's talking to herself.
Can I hit her with my cane? Can I just lightly tap her in the face with my cane, please? To get her attention?
Roll Dex.
Uh-oh.
Wow, she could dodge being.
So circumstantially, when you try to swing to knock on her head, she kind of falls back on the bed.
Like unconscious or just
No,
falls
she just
back laying
falls back.
down?
She just falls back.
Yeah, she just dodges.
So she'll sit there, and then you just see her just kind of fall back, and she's looking up at the ceiling, and she says, "What am I doing here?"
Is she blind? Is she deaf?
Would she like to be?
So
So
Zabra.
I mean, you don't have anything that would, you know that she's not blind or deaf
Damn it.
because she's not, well, you know she's not deaf because she was being given orders to attack y'all.
I mean, telepathy.
And in the orders were visual and auditory.
Except that last one.
Except that last one.
So what did she say? She said, "Did you say what am I doing here? Or why am I here?"
Yeah, she says, "What am I doing
What?
here?" And she's looking up.
Then Zara will come over and say, "This is where you invaded. Why did you come here?"
So she keeps looking up, and then she looks to the side and sees you, and she says, "Where is my father?"
Don't know. You punched him away.
Assuming that was Dad.
So he's not here.
Oh no. Not this. No, we're gonna have this kind of trouble.
Not that I'm aware of.
Says, "But he'll come back for me. I know he'll come back for me."
How do you know that?
He always comes back for me. And then she starts, she starts to try to move her arms and her legs, and she's wincing a bit from the wounds and everything. She says, "I'm hurt."
You are. You nearly died.
Not nearly enough.
And she looks at Zauber, and she says, "You hurt me before I could hurt you."
What?
Wait, yeah, could you repeat that? I don't think I caught that.
She says, "You hurt me before I could hurt you."
That's not what the large knife sticking out of her neck says.
It's not there right now.
And then she says,
Oh my-
"Father will not be happy about this."
I was trying to protect my allies. You attacked us first.
And she looks away from you and says, "Father will not be happy with this."
Why won't he be
God.
happy with this?
And she starts to look down at the bed, and she says, "I failed in my mission. He's not going to be happy with this."
What was your mission?
And so she says that for a few more times. Then she turns and looks over and she says, I came here for something. And I was supposed to get it. My father told me that we would come here and we could get what we were looking for. And that if anybody tried to stop us, that I would have to get rid of them in order to get to what we were going to get.
Well,
But you're here and I haven't found it and I failed.
perhaps you haven't failed yet. What were you looking for? Perhaps it can still be found.
says she looks at all of you, and then she looks down and she says, "My father will not like this. I was too
God.
weak and I failed." And you see her, she kind of tries to pull her hands up a little bit, and she says, and she tries to gather some energy in her hands,
Oh no.
and you hear the buzzing that was kind of sporadic. It's fairly consistent now, and you see some energy come from her hand for a bit, and then it just dissipates.
She's like a Vespa or a gremlin.
And she says, "I'm no longer strong enough to fight. I'm useless now."
Your father would consider you useless just because you're injured?
She says, "My father doesn't like useless people.
What does
If
he
I
like?
can't fight, I'm useless."
Hmm.
But I tried, and you see, she's looking at us like, "I tried, I really did. But now my father won't love me anymore. I'm weak." And then you start to see some tears come down her eyes.
Oh God.
Not feeling a lot of sympathy on this side.
That's I
He,
grab some sort of tissues and wipe her eyes.
And
he doesn't. Oh, go ahead.
yeah, so the medic is there. She's like, what's going on?"
Uh,
So I'll look at Henry. Can you explain, Henry? I
uh,
want to keep talking to the person.
uh, basically, this girl came with what we now know was her father. They came through the door. They attacked the guard stationed there. It, she killed them. Then, near the end of the fight, she used most of what's left of her power to punch her father out of the room into the outside so he could escape, and then she fell unconscious. And by the way she's acting and what she's muttering, I say this is on an emotional level.
Says, "Well, as you saw in the other room, I don't think I can do much with this, but I'm sure that you, all of you, will be able to take care of this. So I'm gonna go and tend to some of the other people, make sure that everything's okay. And if you need me, I'm just outside down the hall."
Okay, will do, Diana.
And so she walks off.
Okay. So
And
I'm going to the. Oh, go ahead.
and so then you see this woman. She's crying, and then she stops. She starts wiping her face. She wipes her face really fast. She says, "No, I am not useless.
Oh no, split personality, the worst.
Father, I did not fail you."
What is your name?
And you see her. She turns over and she does that grin that she did when you were fighting her.
I, I tilt my head and saw Bird. Were you?
Wait, does she look like she's about to scream or something?
She looks like she wants to scream.
Oh, but she's already shown that she's too weak to.
Yeah, so she's still trying to channel energy, but as you can see, she's not able to do it. But she's gonna keep trying.
You're gonna accomplish nothing if you keep trying to use your energy to attack if you have none.
You're going
Let
to
me
kill
know if I
yourself.
sense a disturbance in the force because she's about to get.
and then she looks at you and with that grin, and she says, "You don't tell me what to do. You are not my father."
I know I'm not your
And
father, but
then and then she cuts you off, and she's she's starting to channel his energy, and then she tries to throw a punch at you, but she just falls out of the bed and onto the ground.
I catch her before. Can I catch her before she does that?
Okay, you
Before she
catch her.
falls?
So she's falling out of the bed. You catch her.
I put her back on the bed. Right now, you just need to rest. Maybe when you get back at full strength, I'll let you throw that punch at me again.
And then so then she goes back to being sad again.
God.
She's like, I can't believe it. Can't believe it.
Your father doesn't sound like much of a father if all he cares about is your usefulness.
She looks over.
Oh,
She
God.
says,
No, you done
she
it.
says, how dare you talk about my father that way?
Also,
My father's the greatest person you'll ever meet.
except, didn't he also fail in his mission?
He did not fail in his mission. This was my mission.
What was his mission then? Why was he here?
His mission was to aid me in mine.
So he was
said
like
to
her.
me, he said to me, if I wanted to be stronger, there's something I need to get. And that thing I need to get is somewhere around here.
Do you know what it is you need to get?
And she looks around and she says the gauntlets. I need them. I need the gauntlets.
Oh, God. I have a bad feeling about them gauntlets.
Your abilities, your fantasy abilities, what do they do?
So I'm gonna say out of character.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, I'm not gonna say anything.
God damn
Okay.
it,
So
John.
there.
I'm gonna say. She says, "My what?"
You screamed.
I scream.
And shout.
I do.
That is unique. Something not very many people can do.
Yes, I am special. Father told me that I was special.
Do you know what it does to people when you scream at them?
Yes, they fall to the ground.
Do you know why or how?
Because I'm powerful.
Why is someone so powerful looking for gauntlets then?
To be even more powerful.
So what, you don't trust your own strength? You're gonna use a tool to help you get your way? Wouldn't that mean that you're weak and that you need the assistance of others or something?
She looks and says, "Are you strong enough to defeat everything?"
Well, with enough training of my
Can you
physical.
solve every problem? Do you have with you all the ability to destroy or save everything?
Yes,
Then why are you right here and not doing it?
because my current objective is to help out the person that you knocked out.
Then why aren't you saving them? And you're sitting here.
Because I know nothing of the Banshee ability that you have,
Then that goes to show everyone needs more power.
but I don't need power.
Then go and save her.
No, will you tell us how your power works?
And she looks at you and says, "No, you go and save her. I'm not telling you anything.
Oh, so well, why don't we make a deal then?
I don't want deals from you.
What, even if this deal can include your gauntlets that you're looking for?
I don't care about any deals from you.
Okay.
You are insincere. My father talks about the insincere. They should be destroyed. I
Well,
cannot destroy you, and I'm ashamed."
you did a bad job at that.
And then you're just here to insult me.
I'm not here to
Are you
insult you.
going to
You're the
insult
one.
me to death?
I mean,
Because I can't
I'm.
fight you. As much as
No,
I
that's a
want
different
to.
person.
As much as
They're
I
not here
want
right
to.
now.
Yeah, I mean, we do know a person who can insult people to death, but they're not with us.
Yeah.
Well, if she wants to meet the sincere one, send in the giant.
Right?
Well, if anything, you should be thanking Zalbar over there, because without him, you would have been dead.
And she looks at him and says, "It doesn't matter.
Oh my god.
Why not?
Stubborn to the core.
Because as you see, I failed in my mission. What else do I have to do?" She looks around. I'm captured. She tries to channel energy. She says, "I'm weak. What do
But
I do now?"
Perhaps there are other ways you can get stronger.
also, you're not captured, you're just in a hospital, resting.
And she looks around and she says, "Might as well be a prison." And she says, "And how does one get stronger?"
With stronger allies. Perhaps your father taught you all he could. Perhaps you need stronger people to teach you further.
I don't believe it. There are there there's only one man I've ever seen stronger than my father. I refuse to believe there's anyone else.
There's a lot of the world you haven't seen yet then. There are many powerful people.
Especially because there's a place full of people with similar abilities like yourself.
So then she just kind of sulks and says, "What do I do now?" Where is my father?
You would know that better than us. You
Yeah,
sent him away.
you punched him through a door.
And she says, "That was part of the mission, or part of the plan. If he becomes injured, I have to save him. He will recover and come back to get me."
Then, if you know what he's doing, then why ask where he is then?
She looks at Zarba and says, "How long have I been here?"
How long has she been here? What, a few hours now?
Yeah, maybe a day.
Wait, has it really been a day?
Maybe, well, half a day.
Okay, so say a few hours.
Says, "There's still time for him to come back. He'll come back for me. We'll get the gauntlets and we'll be out of here."
How long do you give him? At what point do you think he's not coming back?
She looks at you and thinks about it and she says, "He'll come back. That's what I know. I don't ask when. I'm
So you will wait here forever for him?
says, "I'll wait here unless I get the gauntlets. I'll go back and find him."
Well, I take it we're getting nothing out of you then.
"What is it you want out of me?"
We just want to know what your scream did to Rhea.
She looks at Henry and says, "Well, that's information you won't get." And she looks over at Zarber and she says, "I'm willing to talk to you."
Oh my god.
Which I appreciate.
Um,
Henry,
um,
perhaps you should see how the others are doing.
And then she says,
Yeah.
if you give me some power to punch him, I will be forever grateful."
I nod my head. Just help her.
I mean,
I'll be
out
fine.
of
Just do it.
character, Zobber's thinking about punching you because you're not helping right now.
Yeah. You're just
Oh.
antagonizing the the person you get information.
That's why I said, damn good thing I'm in the room with the bear.
Hey,
So
she almost killed me. Of course, I'm gonna be a bit mean to her. But she's being extra. She's being stubborn. It's not my
She's
fault.
being
I'm
extra salty.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There's just a
All right,
bunch of salt in this room.
So Zobber will look at her and say, "How does one give you power?"
I need the gauntlets.
Oh my god.
Can you describe anything about the gauntlets? If we're going to look for them, I need to know what I'm looking for.
I have not seen the gauntlets. I just know that they are here.
If I can find the gauntlets for you, would you be willing to assist us?
What do you need from me?
Knowledge about your abilities, and at least being open to the possibility that perhaps there are people stronger and better people that you can learn from than your father.
She says, my abilities? She says, I punch, I scream, and that's pretty much everything you need to know.
Is that all you know about them?
That's all I know. I scream, people fall down. I scream, people get up. I punch, people fall down. I punch, people stay down.
Wait, you scream and people get up. Can you undo your ability?
She looks at you and says, it is mine. It is my ability. I can do whatever I want with it.
Would you be willing to undo whatever you did to her?
She thinks about it and she says, will you give me the gauntlets?
First, I will need to see if they're here. If they are, and if I did give them to you, would you be willing to help and not immediately try to then kill everybody here?
My mission is to get the gauntlets. I will only destroy people in my way. Are you in my way?
Not currently.
Then I will not destroy you.
I mean, she's just gonna punch me. That's about it.
That seems like an acceptable loss.
I'm not gonna die.
You hope.
It seems like an acceptable loss. All right.
All right. Okay, yeah, that's probably about all we're gonna get with her. Then I'll tell her then
And
you
you
need
said
to rest up. I'll
she
be
said
back.
okay.
No, oh, what did she say
So
something before I leave?
so well, I wanted to ask you. I was gonna ask you what the plan was. So you're gonna go and bring her back, or go and get Rhea and bring her over there, or are you
Uh,
gonna?
Well, we can't because she's unconscious right now,
yeah.
and we're not learning anything else we need to know. What I need to do is try to find somebody. So maybe I can start with Diane and ask her if anybody actually knows about gauntlets here. Because
Okay.
until we know what we're dealing with, we can't plan.
Okay.
Yeah. So the
Okay. So you're
the
gonna go
plan
search.
is
You're gonna go. Okay. All right. Go ahead. And she
I'm gonna do
just
that. Now, if we want to, it might not be a bad idea if we want to get like AIM and Creek Steel. Maybe they can take a look at her and figure out how her power works.
Mhm.
But I can't.
So well okay. Well you just keep doing what you're doing. Is anybody else doing anything? Cheryl's just gonna sit by the bed.
He's unless there's a disturbance in the force, he has no reason to get up. He's just going to lay there with the bear.
All right.
Mhm.
Irvin, what are you gonna do? Oh, did he step out?
Can I think for the time being continue helping out the hospital.
Okay. And Henry, what are you gonna do?
I'm gonna ask Diana about where she got that water from. Maybe whoever she got that water from might know what gauntlet is.
So you're
And
going.
also prepare myself to get punched.
Okay, so you're going to go find Diane, and Zalber, you're going to go find Diane too.
Yes.
Before we go too far, does anybody need to take a break at this point?
I'm good.
That's probably not a bad idea. Does someone else want to do some stuff for a little bit? I'll be back in like 5 minutes.
we can take a pause for the cause.
All right, cool. That sounds like a good idea.
All right. So we're gonna take a pause for the cause. I want to put my cam on and just talk for a little bit. When
That
everybody's
cam
ready
action.
to reconvene, we'll just do that. So yeah, we're doing D&D. Thanks everybody for being in here and checking this out. We're taking our pause for the cause. But I'm just chilling. Some exciting stuff's happening.
Yeah, I'm getting punched.
Yep. Yeah. Derper's character is being salty.
I'm not being salty. How
And
dare
then
you?
and then, this lady they're trying to talk to is being salty. So they're just spitting salt at each other. So that's fun. That's fun stuff. But yeah, so we're in the middle of it. I think that it's gonna be interesting to see what happens with this. It's gonna be interesting to see what happens. Yeah, like I said, everybody, thanks for hanging in there and listening to the D&D game. It happens every week around this time, or actually an hour and a half earlier. It starts on Thursday. And yeah, we go for about 3 hours, or depending on how much time the party has. So that's some good stuff. And if any of you have questions about what's going on in the game and want to know anything about, more characters or what is this, what is that, yeah, just put that information in the chat. I know that, I may be late in answering it, but I know that some of the players will be able to answer it a lot faster and a lot easier than I can. And it's pretty cool.
Feeling when the ranger that was taught basic first aid turns out to be a better medic than most of the medics.
Yeah, yeah, that's pretty wild. But I had such a plan where the medic area was going to be in disarray. I was expecting someone else to actually go over there and do something, or just leave, or just not even do anything with it. But that's pretty cool too.
Do tell who are you expecting to do anything.
I figured since wisdom is my second highest stat, I might as well try.
I mean, I
I
have
figured
jack of all
maybe
trades,
yeah, I
so,
figured
so I have a
maybe
chance.
Zalba or Henry would try. Yes, the vampire going around and seeing all that blood. I wanted to see that happen.
+4 to heal.
And you got a +4 to heal, so that works too.
I mean, I'm surprised. Like the medics not asked me because looking at me, I'm all pale and thin and stuff. Like, well, like, what's wrong with you?
It's that crushed
And
arm.
of course,
The thing is,
Uh,
she lives in the Frost Mountains, so she's seen blue faces.
I'm not
so
blue though. I'm white.
So I'm sure
Why it gotta be
she's not
white?
surprised. Yeah, she's not surprised at how you look.
Or even
And,
how I
She
look
she just called
because
you unusual and lumped you in with everybody else.
I mean, I'm kind of still a bit beat up from the
of course, this also gives me a viable reason to get uh, skill training in healing for my next feat.
So you can go around healing people up.
It's a good idea. Also, not bad.
I mean, it makes sense
I mean,
at this point.
there will be lots of people you can heal. I'm just gonna say it that way.
It gives a backstory reason to actually have training in healing now that I've helped in a hospital.
Yep, you've worked. Yep,
Picked up
there you go. Worked in a hospital at the highest levels.
yeah, gains
Trained under the best. Well, actually, trained under the best for like 5 minutes, and then took over. But hey, hey, whatever you want to write on your resume, as long as it's
That
it's
trial by
worded.
fire, though.
Yep, as long as it's worded in such a way that it's true.
I mean, I was gonna say, like, since he did that, maybe he could increase his heal skill to give it like a +1.
I could do that. And you know what? I think I will do that. Let me see his heal stat right now.
I just figured
Triaged in a frost giant medical unit.
Let me see. What
Yeah,
trial by
I mean,
fire.
Oh, it's a +4. Yeah, we can do something about that. Let me add something here.
I mean,
I just figured I'd get the skill training and
I got you covered.
put it
Hold on.
into.
I'll give you a feat. Hold on.
He giving you a feat.
Hold on. There you go. I can't spell, but you know. There you go.
well, at least Urban has a place to go after this adventure's over. He can go back to the Frost Mountains and work there.
Yep. Right. You know.
As long as he brings the bear, he's welcome.
All right. So we're back at it. So the plan was for Zarba's gonna go find Diane.
I thought it was me.
No. Henry's gonna go find Diane. Zarba's going. Where you said you're going, Zarba?
I thought we were both going to
Okay.
Yeah.
So you
I was
both
going to
go.
ask Diane if she knows about the gauntlets.
Okay. So you both go to find Diane. You see that she's standing next to Irvin, and they're discussing something. And so as you're walking up, she's talking to Irvin. And she says, "Well, it looks like we had to remove his leg. But don't worry about it. We did the best we could." That's what she says to Irvin. And then she sees y'all. She sees you two walk up, and she says, "Oh, I mean, if yeah, you can take him away if you need to. I think we got a lot of things under control here."
Oh, we're not here for our friend here. We came looking for you.
Oh well, I don't think I can join your team. I'm really needed here.
No, we, we were we were just
Man.
wondering if you've seen any strange gauntlets about.
I don't know if there's necessarily anything strange about them. What an odd way to word it.
She looks at you. Roll. Both of y'all roll insight.
That's not how I would have asked it, Henry. Darn it. Are you so bad at this?
Roll. Zalber and Henry roll insight.
Yeah, hold on. I gotta get to my sheet.
Okay.
I can't pop it out, so it takes me a little bit longer to get to.
Okay.
Okay, skills. So insight.
Now, if you have your character sheet on hand, you can just do the roll and add the bonuses onto it.
I did. No, that's I got it.
Okay. Um.
John, your screen.
Oh, my screen. Nope. Wrong one. That one's lacking turtles. There we go. Thanks for looking out, y'all. So she.
So Henry is more insightful.
Yeah. So she looks at both of you. And she, she looks at both for a second. She says, "Go back in the room."
What room?
Go back in the room you put the lady in.
Why?
Go
Question
back
mark?
in there now.
Yeah, I'm not going to ask.
Question
I'm just
diet.
going to go.
Okay, I turn around and go back.
And then she goes to follow you. She signals for Irvin to follow.
Oh no.
Henry, how old did you say you were again?
300 and free.
You're terribly bad at conversing with people.
Hey, I barely show up at the Frost Mountains, okay? And plus, I tend not to talk to people because they'll be like, "Are you feeling okay? You don't look so good. Do you want to sit down?"
So
Then perhaps when we need to discuss important matters, you should continue to stop talking to people.
Okay, Albert. I'll leave it to you then.
and then she says, "All right." She starts pushing you into the room.
I'm moving.
Yeah, we
Jeez.
were going. Oh my goodness.
We're going. Calm yourself.
No one crosses Diane.
Yeah.
She's
And then she brings it to her and she kind of huddles in the corner away from Ryum, and she looks at all of you and says, "What you know about the gauntlets?"
We don't. That's why I
Hmm.
wanted to talk to someone that might have known about them.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. She says,
Wait, who's talking?
and she looks and
Yes,
she also she says, "How do you even know about the gauntlets?"
that's what the infiltrators were after. They said they were looking for the gauntlet. I'm trying to figure out what they are because that's what they're still looking for. And it's possible it's a bargaining chip we can use and figuring out what happened to your leader and restoring her. But I can't. No, we can't make any plans until we know what it is.
So she says, "All right, all right." So
saying this in front of Ryum.
she's whispering it in the corner.
Okay.
And you said it's infiltrated. Okay, so then she says, "All right, hold on." Diane walks over to Ryum and says, she goes over to she says to Ryum, "What do you know about these gauntlets?" And Ryum says, "I need them. I need them to be stronger." And then she says, "Well, do you also know who who has access to them?" And she says, "Yes, the head of the Frost Mountains."
Oh my god.
And
I'm gonna
then
take a.
she says, "And you know what happened to the leader?" And she said, "I screamed. She fell down." And then Diane says, "Well, how do you expect to get what you want if you just incapacitate the one that can get you what you want?" And she says, "I would pick her up after everyone else was dead."
Oh my.
And she says, "Well, everybody's alive now." And she says, "Yes, I failed in my mission." And Diane says, "So you mean to tell me that you came all the way here and you killed all of these people to get something that you not only not know where it is, but now not know how to get to because you just destroyed your only opportunity?" And she says, "I know, I know." But what do I do now? She says, what do you do now? You wake up the person that has it. And then she'll know what to do with you. And she says, but I and she's and then Diane says, you what? What will you do? There's not many options for you. You know that no one else can get you these gauntlets. You know that they're sealed away at the far end of the hall. And and none of us have even seen these things. And you expect to just and you can't just waltz in here and get them. And she just keep yelling at her, and she's like, I know, but I need them. And so they're gonna be going back and forth for a while.
Um, um,
Diane is obviously just upset that this this person was being careless and harming the head of the Frost Mountains, and she's just gonna sit there and sulk.
Zalbert, you want to step in
Yeah,
so that Diane can get a rest?
Yeah, we can. I can attempt to do that. So, okay. So, and this is speaking to the captor. Wait, did we learn her name yet? I don't think we did.
Yeah,
Ryu. Ryu will saying it all the time.
Yeah, so you know her name because it was called.
Oh, that's right. That's right. We don't know his name.
Yeah, you don't know his name, but
one of us does.
But Chell knows his name.
Oh well, he does, but Chell's busy right now.
Yeah.
Okay. So, Ryu, it would appear that in order to get what you want, you need to help us with undoing what you did to their leader. Because you want the gauntlets, but you can't get the gauntlets unless you revive her. So there's no way we could get those for you and then you revive her. It's just not possible.
And she says, I understand. And she just looks at you.
How much better do you need to be before you can undo what you did?
She says, I can always scream. I could scream now if I wanted to. But I know that if I scream now, I still can't get out of here.
That's true.
And then she says, you bring her to me or bring me to her and I'll pick her back up.
I was gonna say I was gonna carry her too.
Well, let's look at Diane. As far as moving patients around, which one is easier or better or safer to move at this point?
So Diane's still upset.
Oh my God. Cheer up,
She
Diane.
said,
Understood.
and she said, and she's still rambling. She says, and you're gonna come in here and punch people? I should punch you. And then she attempts to take a swing at her.
I stop her. I grab her fist.
Oh man.
Diane, calm down. This is not the time to be acting rationally.
And she says, I had already been working around the clock. And then this happens.
Just ignore her. She's being stubborn. Don't let her get to you.
Now, I'm gonna say roll strength. You're gonna have to
To
restrain
hold her
her.
back. Yeah, because I was gonna say she's an giant.
She just gonna clobber you next.
Oh gosh, yep, she's clobbering me.
All right. So she just takes her arm and just kind of shoves you out the way, and she goes to punch her again.
Yeah, that's my woman. You do it.
Does it look like this punch is going to like knock her back out?
It might.
She's like,
Then I will attempt to intercept. Just call it to Diane before she actually gets there. Say, Diane, please. If you knock her out, she can't help revive your leader.
can I?
Actually, could I jump in between her or in between them?
All right.
I'm gonna
So
laugh
I'm
if
gonna
she
do
knocks
this.
all y'all out.
So one of you can attempt to do something. I'll let y'all decide which one does something, but only one of you can do it.
All right, Urban, if you want to go ahead and jump in between, that's fine. I know I'm not strong enough, which is why I was trying to.
Yeah, I figured acrobatics put my body in between them.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking too.
Alright.
So you jump in there, and she does a swing, and you see. Well, actually, you see she's about to punch. You see that energy. You see this. Zalbro will recognize this energy that she used in her punch, and she punches at Irvin and hits him square in the chest,
Oh god.
and it hurt. Not enough to drop him, but he felt it.
Wait, I recognize the energy. What was the energy?
That was the energy that she used to try to scan
Oh,
Rhea.
She's a
Feel
medical
better
intern.
now?
So she
that's what I was
she
thinking.
punches, and she goes,
Now she's a savage wolf.
Feel better now?
and she says, and she she realizes that she hurt herself when she punched you, and then she says, I feel a lot better if it was her, and she just she just walks out.
Wait, don't we need her medical advice?
I mean, if that didn't work, I was gonna ask.
Well, you can
could
go
I
get her.
dark?
I'm gonna lay odds the chatty one is the one that's safer to move.
Are you okay, Irvin?
I'm fine. It stung a bit, but I've taken worse.
His heart stops and then he falls to the ground.
Oh, God, we do not need quivering bomb medics.
I think we do. Bump it.
She seems monkey.
Anytime in the next 2 weeks, I can will you to die.
Yeah, so
All right,
you're gonna try to move her.
it is, but we should prep the other people in that room if we're going to bring her in. So I'll do that, Henry. If you want to work on. I mean, she's on a table. Maybe you can just roll her over. It's got wheels.
I mean, yeah. Is she on one of them things with wheels that I can just move her?
I mean, you could find
I don't think gurneys are in our fantasy thing.
Wait, are they? I thought they were. No, probably not.
No.
Well, I'll pick her up then.
Yeah, so you have to pick her up.
All right, give me a moment to prep the other group. Then
Okay.
I will go to the other group.
This room's getting crowded. Jesus, look at all the people in here.
Yeah. It's a party. Just hear the rave music.
So you go by. I think Rissa's the first one to notice you. They're all looking at Rhea. And Rissa notices you and says, "You're back. She's still evil, right up in there."
Oh my god.
And Raven says to Rissa, "Now's not the time to be talking like that."
Shall make a nice unicorn to distract her.
So I'll say to the group, we have been able to revive and talk to Ryum. And it would appear that through us and Diane, she is willing to attempt to undo what she did to Jill's grandmother. I wanted to let everybody know first before we bring her here, because I know tensions and emotions are high. But we'll be watching her, and if she attempts anything funny, she's not going to get away, and she knows that. And she knows that she can't get what she wants until she's been revived.
Chill stands up. The entire corner he's in is frosty as hell.
I imagine so.
I better add some flakes.
It's a good thing Onyx has thick fur.
Yep. And then you see Rissel slip and fall.
I'm
Ah!
not extending it that far.
Yeah, but it's Bristle.
Yeah. She probably ran next to you anyways.
Yeah, because you probably wanted the hug.
And she falls
He wants the hug, but
and she slips and she falls. He says, "Oh, this ground's so slippery."
he picks her up and puts her on Onyx.
Yeah, I'm on the bear.
High score!
You know, she enjoys the simple things in life.
So,
like Chill told his grandmother, I got this. I know how to handle her.
so looking at Chill specifically, since you're standing up and appear to be reacting to people now, look at you and say, "Are you going to be all right?"
He just looks at his grandmother and gives a curt nod. Although you can tell he's ready to kill if he has to.
I understand, and if she tries something, then that'll be warranted. So, all right, I make sure that enough people are crouched, either pushed up against the wall or exit, so that there's room to bring her in. And then I will let Henry know that he can bring her in.
I'm going to rip some cloth off of something and put it in my ears.
Yeah, I was gonna ask, will it scream affect everyone in the room, or?
Oh, we should ask her.
Yeah, you do that because she doesn't want to talk to me, remember?
Okay, that's fair. All right, I'll come over. Ryum, the scream to undo, is that going to cause distress to everybody like it did the first time?
She looks at you and she says, "You must leave the room."
So that sounds like a yes. Wait, everybody leave the room? Because there's a couple people in there that we will probably not be able to persuade to leave her side. They care about her too much.
You must leave the room. If I attempt to pick her up, the 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 scream is louder than the scream to put her down, and it will put down everyone else.
Understood. Okay. I will come back. And everybody, I know who's willing to leave, which is everybody except Chell.
It will
Say
leave.
that. Yeah, it is. You, the scream is likely to hurt you. You should probably leave. I will look at Chell and say, I can't tell you to leave because I know how much your grandmother means to you. Just be forewarned that she says that this is very powerful and can't guarantee that it will not hurt you if you stay by her side.
I pull the thing on my ear. What?
Fantastic.
I put it back in my ear.
Well, that answers that question. Okay, it sounds like he's staying.
Yep.
I'm packing it solid. I don't want to hear a damn thing.
Yeah. Can he encase himself in ice to protect himself?
I don't. The sound can still travel. Never mind.
Yeah,
whatever. It's
yeah.
magic
Just
sound. Whatever. I don't know.
Just move on with.
Everybody out. Everybody out except Jill.
But his ice is magic, though.
I know. Freaking magic. All right.
It's coming from the sword mage.
So they start heading back.
My magic is energy focused through my weapon. I don't make things appear out of thin air.
With enough practice, you could.
And then.
Oh wait. Yes, I can now. So that's right. I forgot about it.
So she's gonna go over there too. So they're leaving, going out.
Yep. All right. Whenever you want to, Henry.
Okay, I look at Ryu. Now I'm gonna hate this more than you're gonna hate this. But in order for you to get where Rhea is, I'm gonna have to carry you there.
So, is Irvin still in the room?
No. I got Onyx out.
Okay.
Oh, wait, you
So-
left to go get the bear?
Let's.
mean,
So, Irvin,
that
let's
makes
say
sense.
you might want to be in the room.
Okay.
Yeah, Irvin, I can send Onyx out on her way. You be in the room.
Why do I need to be in the room, though?
This is why. So let's say you're in the room. So when Henry says that to Ryu, and Ryu says, "I will not let you touch me."
But I've been the one that's been carrying you from place to place.
He says, "I don't care. I will not let you touch me."
Well, then we're gonna be here a while before someone comes back to ask what's taking so long.
And then she sits there and says, "Well, we will be here."
Okay then.
Irvin, I believe he means for you to be in the room with them.
With them?
Cough, cough.
Yeah.
Irvin to walk
Right
back.
there.
Cough. Irvin, you're gonna have to carry Ryu to Rhea. She's being very picky.
Her alternate name is Veruca.
Faruka.
Veruca
no.
Salt.
So I need to carry her? Or?
Yeah.
Yeah, you need to carry her.
Oh, boy.
Shove her, roll her, do whatever you got.
Oh, I mean, I'm not gonna make you roll a
Yeah.
speed check for that.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
I mean,
he was not.
it's not a trial by any means. You just gotta scoop her
Okay.
up.
Yeah. All right.
Princess style.
She's got some size on her, but she's nothing that can't be just chucked over your shoulder and brought over.
Like a duffel bag.
Hmm.
Like
Or
oh,
a sack of potatoes.
Or a sack of potatoes.
potatoes.
So you can bring her in there. I'm not gonna make you roll for that.
All right.
You know, if you're trying to carry Chell or Onyx, then maybe.
I'm not carrying Onyx.
Maybe you might.
Onyx weighs more than Shell does.
Onyx is several hundred pounds. I'm not
So
kidding.
you know, you might have some issues there, but nah, I'll let this one slide. So you pick her up and you bring her into the room, and I'm gonna say you drop her maybe on the other side of the room.
Just drop her. Yeah, just totally
Just-
drop
just
her.
place her down. She's just sitting down.
Yeah, just maybe make an ice bed or something.
I'm sorry, who's making what a nice bed? That?
I mean, you've been soothing some ice.
And so she sits in there and she sits there, and I guess she looks at everyone to signal for them to leave. Actually, let me move her over into the room.
I'm gonna wait outside the window.
What window? There's a window?
I mean, can we make a window? Just in case, because we're not in the room with her, so we don't know if we can trust her.
So so where's Irvin gonna be?
Uh,
So I'm assuming you put her in there.
you know what? I'm gonna wait here.
You're gonna wait in the room.
Yep.
And so
I'll make sure Irvin has the same warning we gave everybody else.
All right. So she's going to look at you and say you have to leave. And then she's gonna look, and then she looks over at Chell and says you have to leave.
All right. And I'll step out, walk over and start petting Onyx.
Put all that frost off of her.
Yeah. And so she's just looking at Chell,
He is glaring daggers at her.
and they're just staring at each other.
Oh my god.
Not that he could hear anything she said, but
So yeah, Zara will come by.
So you don't hear it, but you can see her mouthing something.
Yeah, Zara's gonna come by to close the door, and he's gonna look at Ryu and say, he cares too much about her. He refuses to leave. We told him the risk.
And she says, well, he's probably going to suffer. I need, and so,
And I'll close the door.
I'm gonna need you, Chell, to roll endurance.
He should be fine. He has a high Constitution modifier.
But you don't know how high this check is. All right. So you hear. So she starts up. She kind of looks at the ceiling. You watch look at the ceiling, and then she belts out the loudest scream you may have ever heard. And even out now, the place is fairly cased in ice. Ice starts to crack, and you hear this loud noise even outside. And all of you try to you put your fingers in your ears because it's just a really loud, really strong scream. You see some people walking by, and they're holding their heads.
I'm gonna cover Onyx's ears.
And
Onyx got paws. Onyx can cover her ears.
Do I take any damage, John?
are you gonna cover your ears?
I mean, even if I do cover my ears, would it still hurt?
I'm gonna say that for y'all outside, you can hear this scream, but it's not ear shattering just yet.
No, I was just saying that because of the thunder damage.
Oh, right.
Someone hasn't
Yeah,
slept all night.
yeah. You have to take that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
you have to take that.
Yes, that's 5 damage. Don't worry.
Yeah.
If I'm bloodied, I can regen my health.
So you hit, and the scream, and it goes on for a good 30 seconds. So you like, when is she gonna stop this? No, what's
Take a
gonna happen?
breath, bitch. Take a breath.
So what's gonna happen is, so Chell is listening to this sound, and this sound is really wearing him down. And he's trying to conjure up some ice to try to block this sound, but it's just cracking everything. You see the windows cracking. You see things moving. It's just a whole ordeal. And at some point, you start to think that Rhea's gonna fall off the bed because there's just waves just kind of bouncing, just moving things around.
He
And
will focus on protecting Rhea.
yeah, so you're doing that, and you're starting to weaken, and you start to sink, and you start to fall to the ground a bit. Now you're completely conscious, but you're just kind of it's like somehow she just caused gravity to just slam you to the ground. And then after that, she stops.
He looks up at Rhea, eyes darting from one to the other.
So you look up at Rhea. Rhea doesn't move.
Glare back at Ryum.
And you see Ryum fall back. She's not unconscious, but she falls back to the ground. You can see she's fairly worn out.
Yeah, I whistle.
I walk into the room.
Yeah, I was gonna say if we hear the screaming stop, we'll go check.
Hmm.
I do that while walking and rubbing my ears.
All right.
Does she look better?
So she's laying there. She's not saying anything, but she's kind of laying there. She seems fairly worn out.
I'm gonna bring Bristle in. I'm gonna go out and tell her to come in to look at Rhea.
Okay. So, you bring Rissel in, And Rissel comes in and looks to the right and looks at Ryuma and says, well, "What happened to her?"
She's just exhausted from all that screaming.
That was her. Dang, she's loud.
Well, she is a banshee, Lady Rissel.
Well, these banshees are loud.
Can you?
The bear lands
God damn it, Onyx! Stop body slamming people.
Well, you've never had a bear glop before?
You,
That was a bear hug. You never had that.
I haven't had one of those, and I don't plan on having one anytime soon.
Yeah, I mean, I've been hugged by weirder animals.
I've been hugged by weirder animals.
Okay,
So,
Crystal, could you tell us how Rhea's energy's looking now?
she looks and she says, still evil. And she walks
Not
over, and she looks around, and she says, she looks around at her whole body and says, and she points to her head, evil here, and then she points to her chest area, says, evil here. She points to around her knees and her legs, and says, evil here, and a little bit of evil here, and she starts to wave around.
oh, so her
And then and then you see her, she's looking. She starts to look back at you, like she's confused, and she looks again. She says,
I'm not asking about like the kind of energy. I'm asking like where it's at. Like, is it all in her head or is it back to around her body?
Oh, well, she told you. She was pointing to where the...
Yeah, that's what I meant to say originally while face palming because she's saying evil there, evil there.
She says, wait. And she's sitting there, she's watching it.
What?
And
What is it?
she says, it's evil is going whoosh, and she just takes one hand and just kind of, you see it as if she's doing a circular motion around her body.
Is this the same notion that she did before all this crazy fight stuff happening?
And so she sees that and she says, yeah, kind of like that.
Okay.
But
Chella's taking the bloody rags out of his ears now.
But he says, but she's gonna get up soon. I'm getting away from her.
I mean, I'm surprised.
And so you start to see her turn around to get up, and then you see Rhea just kind of jump straight up, sit up straight up and grab Bristle.
Yeah, I knew that was gonna happen.
She says, "You're not getting away from me." And she says, "Ah!"
That you shouldn't have said evil. How many times have me and Raven told you? I just asked where it is, not what kind it is.
You see her just grab Bristle and just throw on the bed and start tickling her.
And as soon as she is in reach of Chell's grabbing Rhea and hugging her so tight.
So and then afterwards you see Chell squeezing Rhea squeezing Rissel's screaming.
Bring in the bear.
Onyx comes in and hugs all of them.
Yeah. So while they're doing that, I'm going to ask Irvin if he can help me carry Ryum back to the medical area.
Certainly.
Thank you.
Yeah, get her there.
And then so you bring her back. She and so wait, let me see. So who brought her back?
Sauber and Irvin.
Yeah, I asked Irvin to help me, and then I'll go find the medical lady, to let her know what happens so she can check on people.
Okay. Well,
so
you drop
please
her off,
can... and
as you're leaving, she's kind of trying to lift her hand a little bit to try to call for you.
Oh. Yes? What is it?
And she says very weakly, the gauntlets. I need them.
I'm scared.
I will ask her about the gauntlets. Right now, you need to rest.
And then she puts her hand down and she starts to close her eyes.
Okay. I'll let Ring know. Do you want me to go get Diane, or did you want to do that? Okay. I will go. I will go get Diane to let her know what's going on. Please commence with the happy reunion back in the other room.
Okay.
I'm trying to get Wrestle out of Rhea's arms.
So that's what you see. You see one person hugging another person, and there's some tugging, and it's just a giant pile of people, just where one is trying to get away from the other.
Rhea, let go of Wrestle. You're being a bit too Rhea.
And Rhea says, "No, I'm never letting go." And then Wrestle says, "No, you gotta let go of me."
But wouldn't it be better to hug your grandson since you've not had much
And
talk with
she
your
says, "Well, I
ice
can't
cube?
hug him if he won't let go of me."
Jail, let go of Rhea so Rhea can let go.
And then Joe says,
Wrestle
"If this
so.
bear doesn't get off of me, I can't get off of him."
Oh my.
I'm not arguing with the bear. This is a perfect love circle for me.
So
Yeah,
you see Onyx is in there, and they're just on there.
Yeah, but I know you're fine, but I'm worried about Wrestle.
I'm little. I'll get crushed.
He whispers in Rhea's ear, "Please let her go."
And she says,
Yep.
you know, I forgot where I was for a second. And then you see her, you see a bunch of glass, you see a bunch of ice just shatter. And then she appears on the other side of the room.
And I guess I go tumbling onto Wrestle.
Yeah. And she's like, ah!
Okay.
I land on Wrestle, the bear lands on me. This is a lovely little.
I can't breathe.
I tell Onyx to get off of Jill so Jill can get off of Wrestle before Wrestle becomes a mere pancake.
And then you see her laying
Yeah.
there breathing. She's like, greatest mage down.
Medic.
I make a cool compress for her head.
Damn, where's the
Somebody
carjack?
call for a medic.
Greatest mage down. In
Where's
extreme pain. Bring snacks.
where's a carjack when you need it just to lift
Right.
Onyx over?
Bring snacks and presents. It's the only thing that'll give me energy.
Snacks and presents. The only thing that'll give you energy. Mm-hmm.
And then she looks over, she does that look where where you're trying to fake something
Yeah.
and you try to see if people are paying attention. And then when you say that, she's like, I thought I tried, and she just gets up. She just sits up.
I tilt my head. I tilt forward.
Yep. So, and then when after that, you see Rhea kind of brush herself off as if something was on her.
As if something was on her.
Well, you
Yeah,
seem
like
to be
dust or stuff like that.
Or Frost, or
Just
grandson.
brushes it off. Says, "Okay, all right, now let's head over to that hall and take care of those enemies."
Grandma, we
Rhea,
took care of the enemies. He says.
they've been taken care of. You were knocked out before the fight even started.
What?
Yeah, no, I'm
One
surprised.
of them escaped. The other one's in there. He says.
I'm surprised they knocked you out to begin with.
And
Henry, come here. He says.
No. I'm saying, I'm going nowhere near you or the bear.
He says, "You're caught between the two of us right now. So let me just explain something.
No.
You're talking too much."
she looks and says, "The fight's already over. One's in there."
You're the one who said it, not me, Jill.
So, well then, how long was I out?
For about nearly a day.
Wow.
Well, clearly she doesn't remember any of the long questions I gave to her while she was unconscious.
So she's in a state of confusion, because she sees herself as this powerful being, and she's wondering why, because she feels like nothing bad happened to her, and so she's trying to she's in this state of wonder, as if,
By
did that really happen?
Dad
Yes.
sent Ryul and some other, he said, named Ryum.
Ryum?
Yeah.
He says, "Oh, Ryum's such a pretty girl. I remember seeing her
Yeah.
years ago.
He clicks his head sideways.
Sideways is the big.
She says, I would have snatched her away from him a long time ago if I could.
Well,
Because that guy's kind of psycho."
No kidding, he says.
And I felt really bad because I noticed that when she had a few scrapes on her when I saw her, and I didn't want to suggest that he may have done anything, but it looked awful suspicious.
Chella's like, I don't even.
No words.
And you said,
he's like, he opens his mouth and he points at his missing tooth. He says, kind of like that.
Kind of like what?
Oh no.
He opens his mouth and points at his missing tooth. He's like, kind of like that.
He says, "Ice Cube, what happened to you?"
A father who smacks you around when you mouth off, he says.
God.
And she, she does that frost thing that you do
Oh
on the
no.
ground. She says, "I should have killed him when I had the chance."
If I discover time travel, I'll help, he says.
But you're okay now. And I have to go check. I'm gonna go check on Ryum.
Well, if you're looking for her, she's in the hospital.
Chell's like, I'm not letting her out of my damn sight. So he's like, I'm ready.
You can follow, but don't you try anything again, Chill.
he side glances at Henry as if you were going to stop him.
I would.
Leaves Frost on the ground behind him.
So I'm gonna say also that one of the things that was interesting is that when they came into the area before the fight, she had a hood on, so she was hooded. So actually, you can what you're going to deduce is that Rhea did not see her. Did not see her when they came in. Well, I mean, she doesn't even remember what happened.
Yeah. So basically, she didn't see who she was. She only seen.
She teleported right up behind her. Ryum opened her mouth, and she went down like a pile of bricks.
That's pretty much what happened. So she's gonna go over there.
Strike.
So she's gonna go in, and she's gonna go through the medical area. Diane's gonna see her, and Diane's gonna look up at Rhea. She's walking by, and says, "Well, look what we have." Our leader has risen from the whatever it was that you had.
The ashes.
And Rhea is walking past her and says, "Diane, we can save the insults for later."
He gives a questioning glance at Diane as he shadows past.
And she says, "Okay." And she says, "She's in that room," and points, and you see Rhea just kind of walk past. A few people notice as she passed by, and they look. Mostly,
oh my God,
mostly they look like they're seeing a celebrity whisk past them.
One of them fades.
Oh, transfusion, please.
Oh.
And so she runs in there, and she sees all you, and she says, "Ryum!" And she runs over there, and she goes in, and she hugs Ryum.
Oh
She's
God.
laying on the table,
Someone stop her.
Who's currently
Chell is
on top of her.
visually tense.
and Ryum, Ryum lets out a light gasp, and she says, "I hurt." And Rhea doesn't let go. That's one of her things.
Right, yeah. Gotcha.
Rhea, can you please stop hugging people? You forget how freakishly strong you are, and plus she's injured, and I don't think you want to harm her.
And then she quickly lets go. Ah, yeah, I can't. That's old habits die hard.
They do, and
And
It's good to see you up again.
yeah, supposedly I was down for an entire day.
I said nearly a day.
Did anybody catch that boulder that crushed me?
You just
Yeah.
hugged her.
Yeah, you.
And she looks
hug-
at you and says, "Ryum?"
Chell is shooting eye daggers at her.
Ryuma is the banshee. She screamed, and we postulate that in either reaction or defense, something happened with your energy. It concentrated in your head, and you were knocked out. We don't know why or what happened, but we were able to reason with her and get her to undo it.
And
In
she
exchange,
she stops and she says, "Wait." She screamed?
Yes,
yes.
Now, I know a lot about banshees, and there are not many there are not many banshees that may be able to take me down. I actually only know of one that could do something like what you saying happened to me. And this is not and she's not that person.
I can only explain what happened. I don't know why.
She turns, looks at the room, says, "Room, what happened?" And she looked at them and she says, "They said it. I screamed." And Ryum, Rhea says to her, "What kind of scream was it?" And Ryum says, "It was kind of like this." And she starts to
Oh wait,
pull
wait.
back, and
Oh God.
Then Rhea puts her hand over her mouth and says, "I understand."
The room got real frosty on Chell's side real quick.
She stops. She's like, "I understand." And she lets go, and she looks at everybody else and says, "We may have an issue."
Just one.
Okay, we have two issues.
Yeah. What's your issue before we say our issue?
And she says, "Well, one, she's using a power that an avatar has."
She's using the power that an avatar has, but she doesn't have any avatar energy.
Oh,
And
great. Dad's dealing with avatars. Wonderful. This doesn't get any better at all.
now I don't know if this has something to do with this is something that just can be taught, but she's using a power. It may not be the same, but it's a power very similar to one that an avatar has. And there's
Which
only one
avatar?
avatar that can do that.
And that is who?
And it says, "Well, you know who that is."
Yeah, but to clarify for the rest of the group,
Yeah. So she's gonna look at you and says, and it's really unusual because this person lives way over in Western Port. How would someone like that have some influence all the way over here.
People travel.
Oh, it's gonna take a while.
And he says, well, with all the conflict going around, well, I couldn't expect someone like him to even make it through here without a years long battle. But it looks like someone may have made a deal with TB.
Who?
She hears loud knuckle cracking behind her.
And so she says, yeah, so it looks like TB, who has nothing to do with Banshees, somehow got enlisted the instruction of the head Banshee in Western Port to come train this woman to scream in that way.
Who is the head Banshee?
That's Ukyo. Ukyo in the Western Port.
Oh, Lord.
Purple Avatar, if I recall correctly, or was she?
Yep, that would be him.
Yep, that's Yukio.
The one that has so I told you about Ukyo that he has a power that's something similar to uh it seems like a type of manipulation, mind manipulation.
Yeah, you did mention that. Okay. So this is the extreme version of that.
So this is probably something that he what was I gonna say? Yeah, so this is something along the lines of what he can do, and as far as manipulation, so make people pass out is listed as is in his repertoire.
Would he have taught them if he knew it was going to be used against other avatars?
She says, well, I mean, I don't know what his plan was, but TB must have made him a really good deal in order for him
What
to
could
teach
TB
that.
What could TB give him that he would want?
You want to tell the son of TB? Maybe I can field that one.
And so she looks at you and she looks at Ryum and says, Ryum, child, what are you here for? And she says, the gauntlets.
Looks at his grandmother.
She looks and says, you said, wait, the gauntlets? She says, I'm here for the gauntlets.
What gauntlets?
And she looks at everybody else as in, someone killed her?
That your grandmother has.
So you're saying so you're talking about the giant's gauntlets. And she says, those gauntlets, I need them. And she says, those giant's gauntlets have been sealed away for many years. And that uh, they've been sealed away for at least 200 years. And that the secret to getting them has been passed down to the heads of the Frost Mountains since then, uh, as to find a way to access them. And then she looks at everybody and says, but there's a problem with that too. The issue is that the last head of the Frost Mountains died before giving me that information.
God
So the only
damn
thing,
it.
and so I only know where to start. And the problem with these giants gauntlets is that as they're known as the gauntlets because it's a in order to retrieve these, you have to go through a series of trials. The
You gotta run the
gauntlets.
gauntlet to get the gauntlets.
So yes, you have to get through the gauntlets
To get the
to
gauntlet.
get the
God damn it.
gauntlets.
Can you explain what these gauntlets are?
And she says, from all the things that I know, is that it's a series of trials that you must overtake in order to prove that you are worthy of these gauntlets.
Right, but what are the gauntlets themselves?
The gauntlets themselves, these are the giant's gauntlets. I've never seen them, but from what I've heard, they they attach themselves to the beings that are worthy to receive them.
Why were they locked away exactly?
There was sometime when when I was here, there was a great battle between giants and some outsiders. The outsiders knew that the giants had these gloves that made them strong enough to crush buildings if they couldn't crush them already. They allowed them to create canyons in the ground and from the sheer wind just move large piles of people. It's said that not all the gauntlets doesn't do that for everybody, but it seems to magnify the power that someone already has.
Are giant gauntlets giant size?
I assume that they are, but from what I've heard is that these gauntlets also have an ability to adjust to the wearer's hand size,
Oh, that's convenient.
and that they're called the giant's gauntlets because they were created by the giants.
Ah,
But the gauntlet, I have no clue as to what's in it, but I do know where it is. I just never ventured down to retrieve these gauntlets. I never needed them.
I wonder why.
And so, uh, and then you hear Ryum say, "Yes, I need them.
And why exactly do you need them?
That's my mission. I need them to complete my mission."
Sounds like you want them. Does not mean you need them, he says.
And
Zabra,
okay,
I was gonna say, Zabra, you want to fill them in on what happened while they weren't here?
what are you alluding to? I thought everybody was caught up. What
No, I meant
are you
like,
talking about?
because I thought the thing was that she helped us if we helped her get the gauntlets.
Her condition was if we get the gauntlets for her, she'll revive the leader. That was before Diane told us that the leader's the only one who knows where it is. Therefore,
Yeah.
we couldn't complete the bargain. There was no deal made.
Okay, so I'll just ignore what I said.
so
Yeah, exactly. The part of the course.
so none of you will tell uh, Rhea that you made that deal.
We didn't make the deal.
Yeah.
There was no
Or
deal to be made.
But so you're not gonna tell her either that she wanted to make that deal.
Well, no, I don't mind saying that, but I'm going to tell Ryun that, well, it sounds like if you can prove yourself worthy, then you can get them.
And so Rhea says, uh, these gauntlets are they're very important to the Frost Mountains. I don't know if I could give them to you or let you have them if you're going to walk out of here with them. And Ryum says, but I need them.
Want, not need, want.
And yeah, so Rhea looks at you and looks back and says, she says, but why do you need them? You're already strong as you are.
Not this discussion again.
And she says, but I have to be stronger. And she says, why do you have to be stronger? And she's still going in that roundabout circular thing, and she said, and then Rhea says, Ryum, if you don't explain to me what's going on, I'm going to have to hug it out of you.
Oh no!
I'm not stopping her this time. And I say that out loud.
Neither am I. I'm just, oh man, she's in.
Rhea, it's not nice to threaten people with a hug.
And I says, but look at her. Look at her. She's so cute and scratched up a lot,
Yeah,
but still cute
and if
though. I remember she was
anyone,
this high, and we came by. She, we played games together. There was this we played special. You've heard of hide and go seek?
Mhm.
that
So,
be yes,
And
you
So-
forget who you're talking to.
Ryum says in the middle of this, she cheats.
Yeah, she does cheat a lot.
yeah, I would believe that.
And
So,
she says ice copies don't count as the real thing. So technically you didn't find me.
Okay,
so,
before you even try to hug you, Rhea, you need to remember how strong you are and how
And
fragile her state is.
and she says, you know what? Don't tell me. I'm just gonna hug you anyways.
so, Rhea, I, as best I can tell, talking to Ryu, it seems like the only reason she wants them is because her father has told her that's her mission.
Oh, this sounds familiar.
He appears to not be a positive influence on her life.
Yep, definitely familiar.
And she
Damn it,
says, yeah, I figured that. And she says, but that's not gonna stop me from hugging her. And so she reaches in
No, that's
and she
yeah, that's
squeezes
fine.
at her, and you hear Room says, I hurt, please,
Rhea, stop.
please, here, So you see her in her exasperated state start to comply and says, I'll tell you, please, I hurt.
Rhea, put her
And
down.
so Rhea lets go and he says, see, hugs solve everything.
No, they don't. If anyone else tried to hug her, she wouldn't have said anything. But since you're so strong, of course.
So she says,
Thank you, Captain, he says from across the room.
Do you be quiet, you?
and she looks and she says, the gauntlets, I need them. I need them for my mission. My mission is to make my father happy.
Oh,
He's happy
goodness.
when I'm strong. He brought me someone to make me stronger. He was, and then she starts to shape and says, it was this tall man. He looked like he was made of metal, and he and I heard he came from far away. He came to teach me to scream.
Well, at least we know what Izukia looks like.
Uh, and so, and so you'll know, you'll know what she's describing. I think I'll show you just to make sure you see it. Can y'all
What's
see that?
behind door number 1? See nothing on my
Nope.
screen.
Okay.
There
There
we
we
go.
go. Damn, he even puts Colossus and a Tin Man out of Sheen. Damn.
So you see that guy, and so she's describing him, and you can get some kind of picture like that out of him. And she says, and then she says, and I need the gauntlets. Then me and my father can join him.
So, in other words, you don't need the gauntlets, but Izukio needs the gauntlets?
Uh, he said I need to be stronger. He said he didn't need them, that I needed them. And so she talks for a while. So what you're gathering mostly is that, and you can gather the rest, is that more along the lines of uh, TB and Ukyo came to some kind of deal. TB needed some information, or he heard about these gauntlets from him, and what TB needed was he needed someone to train his I could say his right hand man's daughter into a soldier of some sort, because she had the capability to do so, or to be one. So he trained her a bit, and and taught her powers of the banshee, and and they shared other information here and there. But what you're gonna get is that Ryu is also a bad person. He's underhanded as well. And so what he did was he tried to make a side deal with Ukyo, to where uh, him and his daughter would join the Guild of Sound, and destroy TB in the process.
Oh, not tempted. I'm cross purposes.
And so you hear her say all of that.
Huh.
But I'm gonna say and Ria's gonna say to Ryum, and it says, but you know that plan's going to fail now, right? And she said, why would it fail? And she says, well, from what I hear, he's gone back without you. And after word of what happened here gets out, TB's going to know, and he's going to know that you two were trying to betray him. And from all we know, your father could be dead now. And so she says, dead? Can't be.
Speaking as pawn to chief number one, yeah, it's very likely, he says.
And she says, no, I don't believe it.
I make an ice statue of TV. This man will kill anyone. On a whim. I've seen it.
And so she sits there and she sinks into the bed and she says, well, what do I do now? if I can't go back.
Reconsider your life options. It works wonders for some of us, he says.
And she's sitting there. She's like, I don't know. I can't. There's no place for me to go.
You could wake up one day, be 2 feet taller and all shades of blue.
Okay, that only happens to you.
Well, for you,
One
you
can
spent-
hope, he says.
Yeah. It sounds like you spent most of your life just trying to please your father. What do you want out of life?
She looks at you, and she looks at the rest of you. And she looks really hard, and she says, and you start to see her. You know, she's just sitting there for a good second. And then she starts to cry again. You start to see the tears come down again. And she said, and she says, I,
Chill hands are a very cold handkerchief.
she says, I just, and then she says, and then she starts to cry a good bit. And she says, and she says, I just want a good bed to sleep in. I want to wash my hair with that fancy flower stuff that people use. And I want to, I want to read all those funny stories that people talk about. And I want my father to say that I was a good girl, that I did what he wanted me to do. And that we can finish, and then I can just go back and sleep. I don't want this. I just don't want this stuff anymore.
Right, so get down on her level and ask her, did you enjoy hurting the people you did, helping your father?
She said, and she said, I did because it made my father happy.
You'll regret it later, he says. We all
But
do.
and I would try to kill all of them, but sometimes some of them would get away. And when they got away, I always got in trouble.
No, but did you enjoy the act of it? Did you like it, or you liked the praise you got afterwards?
I don't know. I, I, I just
That's fair.
I always listened to what he told me. I tried to be everything he told me to be. And I thought this time, just this last mission, and we would be done with this. Now I failed the mission. Father's dead, and I have nowhere to go.
Well, we don't know if he's dead. We just know that he got away.
Ice in his face.
Please stop. All right.
And so
Don't look at Rhea and ask.
Rhea says, and you see Rhea just jumps over and just kind of hugs her and just falls on the bed and says, "No, don't cry. No, you can stay here. I'll wash your hair. I'll read stories to you."
There you go.
I'll get you a nice bed, better than this piece of crap right here. And you see
There's
Diana,
a lovely cradle in the other room, he says.
and she And Diane's kind of peeking from the outside. Diane says, "I heard what you said about my bed." And Rhea says, "Shut up, Diane."
I motioned Diane down, down, down.
I go over
She
to
says,
tell
"Shut up,
Diane.
Diane. I'm hugging the kids right now."
Kids, there's multiple in there, he says.
I mean, I think she's talking to all of you minus me.
Mhm. So then she says, and she's crying, and you see Rhea crying, and they're just a ball of mess just laying there. And Rhea says, "It's okay. You don't have to worry about punching anybody, except that they make you angry, not because someone else told you had to." And she says, "Let's go wash your hair right now. Let's forget about all of this." And then they're still crying. She's crying. Rhea's crying. And Rhea picks her up out of the bed and just starts walking her out. And then they walk all the way back to the hall. Yeah, and Rhea's gonna drop her in the cradle.
Oh no.
Somebody needs to use it.
Yeah, good. Don't keep. I bet you if you show up, she might make another one and just have both of you there.
Yeah, but I keep getting out of it, so.
I think she'll improve it.
So y'all go in there after. And so
Sure.
y'all go there. Let's say just pretty much all of you go over there. And when you go over there, you see the
All the people. It's a whole, but we're all in here.
you see Rhea put Ryum in the bed, and she says, "See, this bed is great for you." And she says, and she looks at it and she says, "I'm trapped."
No, you're not.
And Rhea says, Rhea says, "Oh, I'm sorry." And then she does some hand motions, and then the walls just come off, and then it reshapes into
a bed instead of a box.
A reasonable sized bed.
See, I had to break my own way out.
Is that better? And she says, "I'm no longer trapped." And then Rhea pats her on the head, and then walks over and talks to y'all. And she says, "Well, I hope her father's dead, because I'd kill him."
Of course you would.
Well, if he's not, you might still get that chance.
Yep. I need to get. That would be a good chance to have. And
Chell is staring at his own feet, actually.
and I need to, and I would love to take a shot at TB too, for letting this happen. But and she says, but the hearing about these gauntlets again makes me wonder, uh, mostly if they actually do exist, and and if that power that they say they have are is actually true, because we may need them. And if you saying that the Wind Spirit is gaining power the way he is, we're gonna need all the help we can get. We may even need her.
Yeah, last leader. Was that Grandpa?
Grandpa was the last leader.
I look at the others and I think it reasonable that I go get him, he says.
But You're. But she said that the last leader died, so.
Yes. The last leader, my grandfather, died before telling her how to get them. She knows where they are.
Yeah. So he
Yeah.
says, I think I want to go get them, the gloves, the gauntlets.
I mean,
It just seems poetic justice.
you don't need to go yourself. We can all go.
And
I
then you
don't
hear
speak
Rissa
for
say, "I'll
everyone.
go too." And
I
Raven says, "No, you're not."
I'm like,
Yeah.
greatest mage has other responsibilities. He says, pointing in her
Yeah.
direction.
Because if you come with us, Crystal, then who's going to protect everyone else? You're
I
the
will
greatest mage
wait.
ever.
Well, what are the stipulations of the gauntlet? Can a team go in, or does it have to be an individual?
Well, I never heard of a team not going in there. I just assumed that it was a one person rite of passage. But I don't see. I mean, there's no one making the rules here except for me.
So, can we get to a stopping point and
We will.
start to get?
Give. If we need to stop soon, 5 minutes will be good enough.
Alright. Just wondering because I'm starting to get tired to the point of my attention spans
I understand.
fading.
I understand. But we're gonna start wrapping up soon.
Yep. Zawa just had one more question, which is,
Mhm.
they do sound like powerful magical artifacts. Is obtaining them and using them worth the risk of them potentially being stolen versus keeping them away where they're much harder to get to?
And it seems that it may be better to just let them stay locked away.
Right. So
But
that's what.
but the wind spirit may get to them one way or another, and I don't and it may not be an issue to get through the gauntlet for him to get through the gauntlet, but I think he would have to have a little bit more struggle if he tried to fight us for it.
That's fair. I just wanted to discuss to make sure we were making this decision consciously and not as a reaction.
And she says, uh, so, um, so I can show you how to get there, but the rest is up to you.
John nods.
No, that seems fair. You have to stay and look after your people.
You might want to seal some of those doors, by the way, he says.
Yeah, I'll.
Seal one of the doors.
Yeah, the doors they came in through, apparently they've been running amok.
Oh yeah. She says that that's gonna be a plan. Uh, and I'm gonna, for the sake of everything, I'm gonna say that all of you are well rested. So you have all your HP and everything that you need. And she's gonna say,
Yeah.
okay.
Thank
Uh,
God.
uh, and she's gonna say, well, I will show you. I'll show you where you need to go for these gauntlets. And so she walks over here. Oops.
Nope.
Oh, hold on. Okay. So she walks over here, and there's a secret door. She pats a bit, and the door opens, and she signals for all of you to go.
Secret tunnel.
We all face through the wall.
So I'm assuming all of you are gonna go, and then you're gonna find yourself.
Wait, she's gonna give us a map at least?
She may not have one.
You're gonna find yourselves. Let me move this over.
Oh, she can make one.
So could you.
I don't know. I don't know where the gauntlets are.
So you're gonna find yourselves.
Oh, pitch darkness.
Yep.
The fog of war.
Oh, a place without the sun. Perfect.
You know, I still have 2 small blocks of wood from that first prison zone.
You might need them. I'm just gonna tell you that.
Wait, you
Might need
got
them.
blocks? You got blocks of wood from a prison?
Yup,
From 17th Tower.
still have them.
And so
Why?
we're-
Because that's what he was going to try and attack Wind Spirit with.
Oh,
And then
well,
also, one thing that I've learned through D&D, both playing and being a DM, you never know what could come in handy
You
when.
never know
Keep
what
all
can
the
come in
things.
handy. And I remembered that you had those blocks of wood. And I'm just gonna tell you, as a cheat code, you might need them.
Keep all the things.
And so you find yourself in this. You find yourself in this room. You find yourself in this room, and you know, in the room you see a passage, you know, a hallway going through, and then as you go through, as you're looking around, a voice calls to you.
Oh god.
A
Voice?
voice calls to you and says, "Are you
Grandpa,
here?
is that
Are you
you?
here for the challenge?"
Yes.
Yes.
Well, step into the next room, and then we're gonna end there.
Dun dun dun.
Woo!
So yeah, so we're gonna end there. So this is so
Yay.
you found the beginning of the gauntlet,
Damn gauntlet.
and yeah, and we'll just pick up from there. So let's wrap this stream up with that cliffhanger right there, which also gives me a really nice name for next time.
The
That
gauntlet
cliffhanger?
to get the gauntlet.
The gauntlet. There you go. Gauntlet Legends. All right, so we're out of here. I want to thank everybody for watching and hanging out with me while we do this D&D thing. We're gonna do some shout outs. We're gonna give people a chance to shout themselves out in this who have joined this game. So we're gonna start with that now, and we'll go again from right to left. So that'll be starting with Derper. You want to say anything?
Well,
Promote anything?
I'm kind of glad that Ryum forgot that she got a free punch off me, so that was good.
Oh, she may remember. We got to go back through there.
Yeah, I mean, you know, she might have forgotten. She might not have.
I mean,
And then
she
there
had
might be somebody in the party that 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 tells her.
yeah, and someone wants to stab me in the back.
Yeah.
Look, and it's Albert. Arrow's
And also,
going
she's
to.
got to try the gauntlets too if you ever get them.
Yeah, I'm not letting her punch me with the gauntlet on. I'd rather not have a part of my body in the other side of the world. Thank you very much.
That's how you're supposed to escape the place. Is she's supposed to punch you out of everything.
Yeah, I'd rather not like lose an arm or like have a limb left behind and I'm walking about without a limb.
Yep. And yeah. Anything else you want to promote?
Not really. I'm just chilling, eating biscuits.
All right. So
Eating my biscuits.
let's move this over to Orca. Orca, you got anything you want to say or promote?
No.
Nope. Well,
No.
one interesting tidbit about this guy right here, Orca. He's a GM for a 4th edition campaign that's usually on Fridays. I think you're gonna be out tomorrow, or are we playing tomorrow?
If we do play tomorrow, it'll probably be a shorter session.
Okay, so yeah, so we probably be playing tomorrow. Yuri Mead, she hosts the game, so we might be we might be on there. I'll be over there playing the game over there with her.
And
I mean with him and her.
she said if we end up not doing it, because I don't know how things are going to work tomorrow with my sister and brother-in-law visiting.
Okay.
But she said if she doesn't, then she's going to be streaming Warframe.
Okay. So I probably will be joining on that. So you might see me and you and me stream playing Warframe if I'm not doing the D&D thing. But he's the GM for it. So in case you want to know. All right, Drew, you got something to say?
Well, Threshold ended in a horrible, horrible
Oh,
body count.
my goodness. Oh man.
So yeah, the party's dead, and so that means there's no more Threshold, which means I have to figure out something else to do.
We died. It was terrible.
I should have been there. I should have.
Well, it's when you get to the point where you're like going, guys, do you really want me to roll your deaths?
I think you were sleeping at the time because it was late. It was a late.
Yeah, it was
it went from 11 p.m. to about 1:30 a.m. Central Standard
Time, yeah.
on Sunday.
Yeah. Yeah.
So time of death 1:32 a.m.
Actually, I think I woke up. I probably woke up within 10 minutes of you ending then.
Yeah, so there you go. You woke up after the deaths that happened.
It
was. Go ahead and check the VOD. Steel Phoenix TV. Hold on. Let me do that caster right there. You want to see that?
Time of death was at 125, 127, and 130.
Yep. I tried to run. He said
he did.
He said, do I really need to roll your death? I said I'm gonna try anyways. I died. It was bad.
Well, you were the only non-combat oriented member of the party. And you were the last one alive.
I was the last one. I was the last one to live. I was just okay with. I was trying to make my way, but we died.
He's like, I'm going to jump off the stairs. I'm like, okay.
I tried to run.
And then he ran, and they chased him in all directions.
Yep. So it was over. But yeah, so he's the GM for Threshold, which is now defunct.
He's the former GM for Threshold.
Yeah. So we're now. I don't know. I'm just you.
I'm trying to figure out what to play next. I'm going to run something, but I don't know what or when.
So we all died abruptly, and now we have no idea what to do. All right, we're moving on. So Cosmos, what you have to say?
Well, thank you for hosting and running the game. I'm on work travel, so I have no streaming for this week or next week. Can I promote other streamers?
You promote. You know what? Promote whoever you want to promote. This will be a good time for it.
All right, so obviously you guys know John Slice since you're on his channel watching the stream. But oh, geez.
Burn.
But he's pretty cool. He's a chill guy. Catches stuff. People who stream around the same time I do, if you want to get your fix, are Grammaton Dryad, Sakron, and Yuri Mead. It sounds like Yuri Mead might be co-streaming with Slice tomorrow, so they're all really great streamers. I recommend all of them.
Yeah, and Grammaton was just here, so he's always a good time. He's really good at explaining things that he does, and he has no problem taking the time to do it. And Sakrin, I keep calling him Sakrin. I'm just gonna keep calling him Sakrin. Sakrin is really entertaining person.
That might be correct for all I know.
I don't know which way it is.
It's Sakron.
It's Sakron.
It is Sakron? Okay.
Okay. Well, I told him that I understand that it may be Sakron, but I'm gonna call you Sakrin, and I hope that's okay. He never responded whether that was okay. I'm gonna
just
take
don't call him saccharin or sugar.
I'm gonna take that as it's okay, and keep doing it. But so Sakrin, he has a good time too. I got to see him co-op a lot with Riarus Miyanata. They do a lot of Diablo. They did some StarCraft and some other stuff. It's always a good time. It's always a good time over there. So, and he comes by every so often too, so it's always good to see him. And that's everybody. I'm John Slice, so you're here, so you have at least a small idea who I am. Tomorrow I'm gonna be streaming.
Wait for it.
What am I gonna be streaming tomorrow?
What? No Neverwinter?
I might stream Neverwinter, or I might play an indie game. There's an indie game that I picked up. Uh, there's an indie game
Dead
that I
Cells?
picked up. It's
Is that
called.
long sale?
No, I finished Long Sales.
Oh,
I finished Far Long Sales. I finished it. It took me 3 hours.
I was gonna say I tried to watch, but after watching it once, I'm like,
Don't. I mean, yeah. It's one of those games you play once. You play the game
But,
once. Unless you really love the scenery and the music, you play the game once.
but John, that synergy update.
Oh, and then you got the synergy. Yeah, then you got the update for Into the Gungeon. I played that though. I streamed that earlier this week. I streamed it on Monday.
Yeah, but you didn't fight the new mimics.
I didn't. Wait, did they update it recently? Recently?
No, that's just part of the synergy update.
Okay.
Is the fucking boss rewards will sometimes be mimics.
So it's crazy. Into the Gungeon. Y'all saw me. If y'all were around, y'all saw me play it on Monday. It was crazy. It was absolutely crazy with because they got this new synergy thing where you can pick up an item. What is that? You pick up an item and a gun, and they'll merge together and give you this new powerful concoction. It's like they found Kriegsteel, and he just went crazy and Into the Gungeon.
Oh no.
don't give the man ideas.
The alchemy is strong. It is strong.
Yes, certain guns also combine together, like the shotgun full of love and the shotgun full of hate, because nothing sounds better than shooting poison charming teddy bears
Yep.
at everything together.
And there you go. So it's gonna be a good time. So I might be tempted to play that. I got another indie game that I said I got from Keymailer. It's a story-based game. I'm considering that. If I don't play any of those and not Slay the Spire, I mean the game is I love playing Slay the Spire. I'm sorry, but I just love the game. I love the defect and I love the game. I'm an addict and I don't care who knows. I'm probably gonna start playing some of it after this stream is over because I'm just an addict.
Yes. John
I'm out.
needs help.
I will talk to you guys
But
later.
yeah, so we're out of here.
All
Go
right.
ahead.
See you, Orca.
Night,
Bye,
everybody.
See, I'm already talking about it. So everybody have a good one, and I'll see you soon. We're gonna send the host somewhere in a bit.
Kaz, can you hold on for a sec?
Sure.
All right.
When Slice has us off stream.